that was the year you and Valentino had like crazy battles, right?
It went from 2003, 4, 5, and 6 with Valentino. Basically, that we had that incident with Valentino in the last corner. He didn't get no punishment or nothing, and then I started to lose my faith in the sport.
It's just gonna be this. Very easy. Tino Rossi. Valentino Rossi is going to win the race. Sete Gibernau's alongside. Who's winning? Sete Gibernau has done it. Oh, we were celebrating with Valentino Rossi. I met a gypsy.
Today, before we get into this episode, I want to bring you a message from today's podcast sponsor, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is not only an all-in-one formula that helps me just cover all my nutritional bases, it's also the first healthy habit that I have that starts every single day. It sets the tone for a healthy day and just keeps my eyes laser focused on Glen Helen at the end of the year. Definitely notice improvements to my skin and massive improvements to my overall gut health. AG1 is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that are able to offer gut health support, mood support, can affect your energy each day, and contribute to overall healthier looking hair and skin. Go to athleticgreens.com/gypsytales if you want to get that free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs added to your first order. Thanks so much to the guys and girls at Athletic Greens. We're excited to have you on board. This is
I mean, as far as it's like
this is the same microphone that Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on.
no shit.
So for like vocals and stuff. So yeah, if you put it like close up to your and then
Alrighty.
it's like
It's
like the Mickey
spot
Mouse
on.
audio
Okay.
quality.
Perfect. I won't be able to sing like Michael though, but I'll do my best just talking.
So Sete Gibernau is joining us on Gypsy Tales. We're in a bit of a makeshift studio, but you can't come to Barcelona and not get you on the podcast. So ever since I think it was May last year when I came and rode with Danny and Coop, I was super excited to one day get the chance to do this podcast. So welcome, mate.
Thank you very much. My pleasure, believe me.
And life's been good since I've seen you last?
Yeah, it's been good. My daughter's coming crazier every day.
Yeah.
She's riding good.
Yeah.
And everything I say, what I say, you remember all these things we were talking about, she just keeps telling me, oh, Dad, that experience. And we got guests and she's like, are we going to tell the guests about the experience? And it's like, yeah, of course, Claudia, we'll do that. So it's taking care of my kid is the best thing I can do now.
How old is she?
She's 5, turned 5 on the 26th of last month.
Wow, so she's right in that real
exactly.
just crazy learning and
it's all about learning and happiness and being happy. And there's actually, I could ask you, because there's a word in Spanish that is ilusión that I've never been able to find the word in English to where it's similar to that. Ilusión, to where ilusión is my daughter, whatever she does now, it's an ilusión for her. It makes her happy.
Yeah.
In Spanish, there's this word, ilusión. It's like the beginning of everything.
Yeah, okay.
Everything is an illusion. No, it's not an illusion. It's like a wish to do. It's like look forwards to. It's all born from the illusion. In Spain, we say, la ilusión makes you dream.
Like imagination almost.
I've never found the word, because I use it so much in my speech in my place, and I've never found a word in English to where it could be, it would suit the Spanish ilusión. Because to me everything starts in the ilusión.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, everything you do is an ilusión for you, because everything, I tell my daughter, I just go, hey Claudia, we're gonna go watch birds fly.
Yeah.
Wow, birds fly?
Yeah.
Wow. That's everything is an illusion.
Yeah.
Claudia, we're gonna go jump from this rock. Wow, everything is no. And when you get older,
Yeah.
no longer is illusion to go see a bird fly.
Yeah.
It's you've done it,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, I took it off, and it's not there anymore.
So like almost maybe like novelty in a sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's that novel experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything starts there, you know? For me, when I was a kid, my biggest illusion was to ride bikes,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then I started riding bikes, and my best next illusion was to ride in a world championship,
Yeah.
you know? And then the next was just try to get in the podium. And then the next one, it was like, wow, win a race, you know? But with time, the problem is you start to forget the first ones,
Yes.
which took you there.
Yeah.
And what I did wrong, for example, when I was racing, is that, you know, my illusion was just to ride.
Yeah.
My dream was to race in the world championship, and I was happy, and nothing had happened. I had never won, I had never been on the podium, but I was happy.
Yeah.
And one day, through time, one day I get to win in the world championship, and I turned around this pyramid to where the beginning was the illusion, dream, happiness.
Yeah.
After happiness, there was hard work, some amount of talent, a bit of luck, and I won.
Yeah.
But winning was just the smallest part of the pyramid. And one day, this had a great base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the illusion was so big that it made it stable, and
Yeah.
I was happy.
Yeah.
And one day I turned it around, and if I never won, I was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that crawled off, and I forgot that I had won because I was happy before, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the experience I try to tell in my place, to where I learned from my daughter, you know? And I was like, wow, everything is an illusion for her, you
Yeah.
know? And she's just happy kissing me. And it'll come a day, sure, that she's like, Dad, I don't want to kiss you anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'll try to remember her, just to say, listen, you'll get older, and with time, whatever was unconscious, the experience we gain just can give us the know-how to put in your cupboard that's now with no illusions, put consciously new ones.
Yeah.
Because if not, you open one day and there's nothing there, because you've been taking everyone,
Yeah.
all of the illusions, you know?
Yeah, it's so. I remember when I was at your place and we had that. You did the theory section of the riding with us, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me ever since. And it's funny to speak on the illusion. The Stoics, the Stoic philosophers, they do they call it like a Stoic meditation at the end of. They would do it at the end of each day, and they would call it the last time meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And they would consciously think that there is all of the things in their life that make them happy today.
Mm-hmm.
There's a last time that they will do that thing. And they go to bed they would practice this every night,
Mm-hmm.
and they would go to bed every night
Wow.
thinking like, this is the last, there'll be a last time I pick my daughter up.
Exactly.
One day she'll be too heavy
And
to
I
pick
won't
up.
be able to
One
do
day she won't be at home because she'll be at school every day.
Exactly
One day
right.
she'll leave for university. One day she'll get married. So there's to meditate on or to think on this last time. I think that can help keep some of the illusion.
Yeah, because the bottom of the pyramid, you know, the illusion, which is the base.
Yeah, that's what we start out with
That's
the
what we
most
start,
of, right?
you know, and you open that, and it's a present from life that all of us, when we're kids, we open that and it's full.
Yeah,
Full. Kiss your dad, go skiing, go mountain biking, riding. It's all full. You can take as many as you want, but you start to get older, and that thing starts to get, it's okay, you gotta go all the way to what's the next one, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's this one and it's this one, because we never put new ones consciously, you know? So it's all about that, being able to put new ones and to do that, you have the experience, and then share life with the people that can bring you also into new ones.
Yeah.
And that's super cool when you can do that.
Do you think that there's also a big value in, and I think this is probably what you see in your daughter as well, is taking that feeling in the simple things?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it is so hard to, like, I could imagine at the points in your career when you get so much like money and fame, and it's like very, very hard to top those things once you start playing at such a high level. And then you still have just the everyday, like walking outside, smelling. Like my partner, one of the things I love about her is she's like the definition of stop and smell the roses. Like we go for a walk, and like any flower, she'll like stop and look at that flower, and it's like that's a constant reminder for me, like that you can just enjoy, no matter how much fame or money or whatever, you can just enjoy the simplest things.
That's fantastic. Also going back to my daughter, we got 5 senses, the basic 5 senses. She to really know if she likes something or not, she would unconsciously try to use all of them: touch, smell, lick, hear, listen, watch, everything. And then she says, okay, yes, this I like. But when we start to grow up, and nowadays more with social media, phone, we are developing one of the senses that's the fastest one, which is sight.
The sight, yeah.
And what we want, we see, we want, and we want it now because everything is fast. And we don't take the time to lick it or touch it or feel it. And then with the 5 senses, we'll get a better picture if that is what we really want or not. My daughter takes the time to do that. And it's going to be more difficult for her to get it wrong if after the 5 senses say cool, it'll be close to cool.
Yeah.
But if now we just see in whatever social media picture of whatever it is that we like, and we don't use the other ones, maybe we're wrong. It's the fastest one, it's the sight, and we want it now.
Yeah.
But even with with your partner or boyfriend or girlfriend or a woman you like, a boy you like, wow, but maybe the guy or the lady there, or has no good energy or smells bad, or there's many other of the senses that at the end of the day, the coolest thing I can do is to be here with you, looking at your eyes and talking. I would never do this if you were not here, because we create an atmosphere and an energy that's uncomparable. You cannot compare it to having something in between that. I see your eyes, and even when you came, or Daniel came to my house, we created a relationship, and your energy is super cool, like Daniel's is. And you can only do that if you are there, and we smell each other, we touch, we hug, wow, super, that guy's cool, and if we just see it there, of course it's the fastest one, but maybe we're not judging things right.
Yeah. It's that day, man, stuck with me so much. Like, so for people listening, last year, right after Barcelona Formula One, we went to your place. You've got an epic training facility that is out there. Actually, I'll circle back to it, but Jorge Prado, I was with him yesterday. He said that he came out there, and man, it was this entire experience. And like, it really, like when you just talk about energy, like your energy that day, your love for riding that day, that was a complete the whole thing was a vibe, like from the riding to new friendship to like we ate great food together, great conversation.
What you said, we keep forgetting that success or money is just a consequence. It's just, and that's the last part of the pyramid. The result is just the last part. Like a lap time. We get to a racetrack and we said, everyone's like, okay, what's the lap time? Listen, there's many things before that. Really? What? Oh, okay. Well, we said, every human being goes where you're looking. If you're looking at a problem, where are you going to go? To a problem. You have a problem, where do you need to look for the solution?
Yeah.
You'll go there. It's physics, you know? And you can be Daniel Ricciardo, which is a super master, you know, driver, best in the world. If he's looking to a problem, he'll go to a problem. Marc Marquez, Prado, whoever, Schumacher. We just need to, when we see a problem, you must look for the solution. Because, for example, now I can see you, but if I want to go there, I'll look there. Does that mean I'm not seeing you? No, I see you, but I'm looking there because I want to go there. But I see you. So that doesn't mean, okay, don't look at the problems. No, I didn't say that. I can look at the solution and then I can still see the problem. But if you are the problem, I won't go to you because I'm looking to the solution.
It's like where the focus is.
It's all the energy goes there once again, you know?
Yeah.
So when I say all this, it's basically, and believe me, because I've done it wrong, you know, I turned around my pyramid and I was not happy and I was waiting to win to be happy again.
Yeah.
And it never happened again, because if I had won one day, it's because I was really happy doing what I was doing, you know. And then you start to make the money, and then money starts to become important, and the result winning is more important than just being happy. And that's wrong for everyone in life, in my opinion, you know. Money is many times overrated, as far as we give so much focus to just the money. Once again, if I am just looking at the money, where's the way? Maybe I'm looking at the money, but the way to get there is there. So where do I have to look? I have to look there to go to the money. Yeah. You know, or and that's I say, because I made many things wrong. I'm older now, you know, and you look back, I'm super critic with myself, and having, for example, you guys, when you came, that's a boost of super energy for me, and to bring back all these memories of, wow, I did many things wrong, and I want to share now all these things with people like you guys that bring super energy to my place, and it's unpayable. Yeah, you know.
Well, it's one of the things that I look for in people, and I saw it in you that day, and Danny's a really good example of this. Is there's like a test that people have to go through that are like in your position in life, where you're this super successful, you get fame and you get money and you married a supermodel.
Yeah, exactly.
You have this this crazy life, and I think that with that, it comes with this crazy test of ego.
Absolutely right.
And you can either, there's a win or a loss in that. Like, you can lose yourself in that ego and you can never recover. And that ego can then be something that kind of like runs and then can destroy your life. Maybe you get lucky and you just live your life as like a crazy narcissist that makes it happen. Or there's another way that happens where you kind of like get to this point where you almost like see through the ego, and it's kind of, you know, it's what you've been saying so far. But I think like you're a guy like that. Danny's a dude that's like that. I mean, he's had an incredible life, you know, to do the things that he's done and to achieve the things that he's done. And like, even now you can see that the popularity that he has nothing to do with how good he is at driving a car. It's like purely based on like him as a person and like his energy. And I love being around those kinds of people, because it's such like a reminder for me in my own life to try and walk that walk, that it's like they've already been through every test, and at the other side of being given almost everything in the world, the message is just be a good person, have that humility, like look for the illusion, you know?
Exactly right. And you know, at the end of the day, because we live very extreme things, Daniel has done that, you know. And for example, for me, you can win in, I don't know, let's say Jerez, you know, it's our own GP, and you win, and there's I don't know, 200,000 people just yelling and going your name, and the King of Spain, you're in the top of the podium, and the King of Spain is there, and it gives you the trophy, and you're looking down to the king, and you're, who's more king on that moment, you know, and spray everyone with the champagne, and there's this big applause, and at that point, it's so easy just to give that to sell or give that happiness to the applause of all that crowd. But there's a day 100% sure that the lights go off and there's no more the applause of the people there. So that happiness is, you need to understand, is yours. It's not from the people, that from the crowd, or for everyone. So that means that if in an extreme moment like that, even in that moment, happiness or not belongs to you, you'll be able to take it away when the lights go down. But if you're given away that happiness to all that crowd, when they're not there, you'll walk away and the happiness will stay there. And you'll be wanting to put up the, switch on the light that will never be there anymore. There's a younger guy, faster than you, smarter than you, that's there, and it's getting all the applause, So happiness must be yours, and that's part of what life teaches you in a soft way sometimes, and in a hard way some other ones.
And that's the thing, is I think that at some point, no matter what, you learn that lesson, whether it's like the easy way or the hard way, or you learn it early or you learn it late. But I think at some point life will teach you that lesson.
I think so. It'll take longer or not, but it does. It happens because there's nothing better than being able to get old, because that means that you're living the life, but there'll be a time that no one will know you anymore, or there's a younger, and you have to be able to close door to open others, and that's part of life for everyone. For us, that we have been more or less successful in our sport, but for people that don't need to have that exposure, media exposure or nothing, in a more micro world, it happens the same with your own family, with everyone. It's a copy paste, and when many times we say, with the values of sport or not, I would, I'm trying to give my daughter values of respect and humbleness and everything for life, and if in a period of time you are a big successful sports guy or entrepreneur or whatever, it's a shorter amount of time compared to life. Life is very, very, very long, hopefully, so it's nice to be able to give these values to kids and to learn from them. I'm learning so much from my daughter now that it's like, wow, we need to learn so much. We keep thinking that we need to teach them many things, but most of the time I learn more from my daughter than he's learning from me.
It's funny that I'm thinking about kids and having kids like now more than I ever have.
Really?
Like I'm pretty close to it.
Cool. Yeah, I should.
But it's so, there's this hesitation of losing freedom, losing time. Like to me, like I'm looking at the losses because I don't know the joy. I can't imagine the feeling and the things that I would get. All I can imagine as someone that hasn't had kids yet is all the things I'm giving up.
If you're looking at that, where are you going to go?
That's to the problem.
So look at the other side. You'll see these problems, which are there. Our problems are different life, which is there. It's understanding. You're absolutely right. But it's so funny when you say this. If you just keep there, and I see some of my friends that they're like complaining all day about all this, and I say, could you stop just looking at that, because you keep banging the same door 24/7. And then I say, but what's the good things of your daughter? We had this conversation the other day with one of my friends, and he said, and when I get home and my son hugs me and this, why don't you look at that also? Oh yeah. But I know it's there, but that is what's the balance of it? Are you going to just look all day there? That will get bigger. If you start to look to the other side and you work on that side and you understand that whatever is a problem now, tomorrow won't be there anymore, because I need to take kids to school. There'll be a time that they'll leave home, and then you'll say, oh, my kids left home and now I'm alone. You've been complaining for 18 or 20 years about your kids being at home and this and that, and then when they leave, it's like, oh, no, my kids are leaving, and what do I do? Dude, we always want what we don't have, and experience is about that, I think, to learn and understand life goes by for everyone. And my best joy in my life is my daughter and my wife. It's the best thing I've done ever, and it's the toughest thing also. I think there's 3 basic towers to where expectations, if your expectations are high, your work will need to be high, and then the benefit will be high. If you have low expectations, you can work not so much, and then don't expect for high.
Yeah.
That's the balance of life.
Yeah.
If you want, try this: high expectations with low work, but big money, or big. Tell me one.
Yeah, it's so true.
No. Put it down with a lot of work, and this down. So, okay, this means that something doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I have to be a hard worker and do everything but I expect nothing and I will get no money. It won't work.
Yeah.
So the 3 has to be, and once you understand this, I have high expectations. Okay, dude, be ready to work your ass off.
Yeah.
It won't work another way.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh no, high expectations from home with the beer. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
High expectation with your kids. I want him to love me, but I don't want to do all what it takes for him to love me, no, you create on relationships also.
Yeah.
So expectations, work, and then whatever the profit or the benefit is, they're all equal.
That makes a lot of sense. I've never thought about it in that direct, because I do think that, like, I think that you get what you want in life, and a lot of people say, like, and you can say you want something, but that doesn't actually mean that you want something, because just saying things, and even saying things to yourself, is very easy to do.
How many guys just you see on their social media, and they post this great phrase of this, money is about work and how whatever it is, and then once they've said that, they think that is
enough.
It's enough for them, and I said it, so it's me.
Yeah.
But then I go back and I just wait for that to happen. It won't work.
Yeah.
Whoever said that meant that because he knew what he was saying and he did it.
Yeah.
Expectations work, but if I put expectations, but I want to do it my way, and I just wait for things to be really successful, it won't work. It doesn't work. There's no balance. It's impossible.
So what was the lesson that taught you that? Or like, where did this become something that you knew inside?
Like I said, I think I went through a learning process when I retired. I had a 1 more year contract with Ducati in 2006. But I said to myself that I would never just race for money.
Yeah.
I would do it for happiness. And I was not happy. And then I retired with 1 more year contract, and I went back home, and things were I turned around everything, and I was just looking into problems all day. I was complaining, and there was a point to where I thought nothing was because of me. I just put excuses, but this, and but this happened, and then I went back home, and then I was critic with myself, and I just thought, wow, Sete, what's happened? What went wrong? Now I was a guy with a lot of luck, and everything was good, And one day I just turned around and stupid things were happening. You know, in my whole career, I had never lost my luggage. And that year, my luggage was lost, and I lost a plane, and it's like I was complaining of everything, and the bad things were happening. So I went back home, and I was like going, shit, Sete, what have you done? What? And I could keep on the same pace of just thinking there was nothing with me. It was the world against me. Or just saying, Sete, okay, let's understand and go back to the illusion.
Yeah,
you know? And I opened that cupboard and nothing was there. So I said, wow. So I have no dreams, huh? Okay, no illusions. I have no dreams. I'm not happy. So I said, okay, well, that makes sense. I need to start to put consciously new illusions to dream again in whatever things it is. And I started slowly to understand that, and really I turned things around, you know, and I just said, wow, it's true. It was my mistake. Things were happening because of I was doing things wrong. You know, it was not the world against me. So yeah, said, do you think the whole world in the whole universe is looking at you and thinking we're gonna fuck that guy? Because I don't think so. You know, it was me.
Yeah,
it was me doing things in a different way. And it was not working anymore. So luckily enough, you know, I had a good family around, and then some good friends, and that helped me out a lot, you know. And I just started to turn around things and learning, and there's where in my racetrack back home, I did my racetrack, and I started to share all this my experience with my friends, and they all liked it, you know. And every time I was like, wow, I'm putting a new illusion is to share this with other people.
Yeah.
And the more I did it, the happier, the more dreams came, and the happier I was. And I had never achieved nothing with this. I was not making money. I was not more famous. I were nothing. But I was happy because I had a dream, because I created new illusions, you know?
Yeah.
So it like, wow, it works, you know? And since then, I good things have been happening, you know. Many other not so good. It's life, you know. There's
The ups
and downs, of course. But as a package, I think I was able to turn around things again.
Wow, that's it's so cool that it was almost just going back to the bare bones joy of riding.
Exactly.
Just
and
2 wheels, no other thoughts,
nothing.
and then sharing that the passion and the experience that you can give, because I think that it's forgivable in a sense to lose some of the passion and the joy in just riding a motorcycle when there's so much pressure, so much stress, so much money, so much competition, so much rivalry. It really does become just a job, and a high pressure, high stress job at that.
But you cannot how could I say, leave all these thoughts get into you and distract you from what it is to ride a bike. You know, at the end of the day, all us, we are super lucky people that we can do our job. That's our passion, you know. And that's something I would try to say to the people also, just to try to do whatever makes your heart really beat hard, because it doesn't have to be, you don't have to become a superstar in nothing as far as known or money or nothing. That is just a consequence.
Yeah.
And passion and dreams and sharing with people, with the people that you connect. I don't know if it happens to you, but you know, I look into the eyes and I can see with one guy if I go dinner with the guy easy, or it's like, oh man, I wouldn't even go for a drink with this guy, you know. And share things with this kind of people, because that together we're better. With the help of people, you can never do nothing alone. It's impossible in life. Think about it. nothing. So the sooner we understand that, and the sooner we share it with people that can really help us take the best of ourselves, wow, we'll be better. We'll learn from each other. We'll enjoy. Being here for me it's an illusion.
Yeah.
I'm here just going, wow, cool. I want to share this, and this is unpayable. It's unbeatable at the end, because it's what it's all about. And whatever you can do in life that really makes that heart pump, and wow, it's all about that, I think.
No, I completely agree. So do you remember, so you're born into just motorcycling history. Do you remember the feeling, and do you remember the first experiences of riding? Because I think that's one of the, like, when I'm with you on around bikes, that day one feeling is still
to me, yes.
you.
To me, yes, because it's my passion. It's my passion, and I like to think about it like something that was born with me and will die with me.
Yeah.
That does that mean that I need to ride all day? No, I need to do many things and learn, but my know-how and what I've been able to do best in my life is riding.
Yeah.
That's and so why not to share this and to do it as much as possible, in life. And now that life is changing so fast, and that we don't get to do so many outdoor things. I mean, we're more static with things, and bike gives you this freedom, some feelings, and riding in my place and sharing it with people like you guys, that I see your eyes, and it's like, okay, I'm eating from you and you're eating from me, and that's, I mean, what do I have to pay to do this? I would pay to get this feeling. I would pay. I was ready to just go, okay, how much do I give you? I'm ready, because it's the best thing in life.
So do you remember the first times that you rode, and do you remember the first experiences that you had on the bike?
Yeah, I mean, some of them, but I've got more of what my grandpa would say, or my dad, or my mom, and it was like, oh, my other cousins, there was bikes around my place, my house, but the only guy that really was all day just wanting to ride was me.
Really?
I was
from
all
a very
day.
young age.
I was all day, 3 years as that was it. And my dad just said, Sete, I was going to buy more fuel for you every 2 hours. You would kill it. I mean, you were all day going on the bike. And there was this one time that my mom at a certain time would say, okay, at 6 p.m. or whatever, no more riding. Come back home and we'll go for, we need to eat and blah, blah, blah. And you have to be back, because she knew if not, I would just go all day. So they say that this one time, it was 7 p.m. I was not back. It was a big place in my grandpa's. And we're Sete. Everyone's like, fuck, we're Sete. It's an hour and a half, and we're Sete. And the Sete comes back, and I'm all scratched and I'm destroyed, And so my mom and dad, they knew, what had happened. I for sure had gone on a bike, And so they go, Sete, what's happened? And I just go, oh, Mom, oh, Dad. I was maybe 4 or 5. Mom, Dad, you won't know what happened. And they're like, okay, what's going to come?
Yeah.
I was walking back home, and this owl picked me up and attacked me, and I couldn't get back home. So they were ready to kill me, but they started laughing like, oh, come on, an owl. What's all this shit about? So I can't remember of this happening, but they've told me so many times. It's like, I must have said something. So, it was funny, and that passion that I could just not stop. riding, you know. It's cool. I can see it now with my daughter. She's all day going, Dad, I want to ride. I'm like, you don't want to play tennis or golf, or is it not good? I want to ride. I have my guests. I have guests coming, and I want to tell them the experience. I'm like, oh my God. I just hope one day she's not back saying that an owl attacked her also. It's funny.
Oh, that's so good. So I think, do you remember the, I guess or how would you describe the feeling that you would get from riding as a kid? Because there's obviously something, it strikes some people, like you said, it really got you and it got your daughter. And I've thought about it so much because I had the same thing in my life. And then obviously I wasn't going to be the professional rider, but it stayed my passion. Anytime I can ride, I want to ride. And I think that especially when you're a young kid and you give a kid that much freedom, there's just not many other vehicles, and you can give a kid so much trust and so much freedom to just get away from their own life.
I would not be able to say it. I mean, you took my words from, exactly. And it's trust, trust. That's a cool word, because trust and respect means so much, Now many times we're overprotecting kids, or you're gonna get hurt, or this or that. My mom, I remember when we were there, we were a whole bunch of cousins riding all day, and she would just say, okay, 6 p.m. back. She wouldn't care, and then sometimes we would run to my mom or my auntie or whatever, and it's like, oh, my cousin crashed, and then my mom would just go, okay, is there blood around? Do we need to go to the doctor? No. Okay, just come back at 6, It's like, okay, so that responsibility to a kid, it's also good, because life is about that. We need to understand that there's going to be blood.
Yeah. And pain.
There's gonna be, and trust, respect, are basic values that I really appreciate in life. Being able to give responsibility to each one of us. It's again, expectations, responsibility. They all have to be. You cannot give a lot of create expectations with no responsibility.
Yeah.
It's impossible. High expectations, but no, I don't want to be responsible. Okay, I'll give the responsibility, whoever takes the high expectations and the responsibility and the work, and then maybe there's a good result. So it's good to give that, you have to be careful, of course, and I would not want my daughter to get hurt, of course, or nothing. But the other day she crashed with a mini GP bike, and
oh really?
And she crashed, and I just went there, and she was lying, and she's like, I'm okay, Dad. I'm like, okay, pick up the bike. I didn't pick up the bike for her, and she's like, okay, of course, Daddy, don't touch it. It's me. It's me. I love it from my daughter. No, Daddy, don't touch it. It's me. Yeah, okay. I told you. Since she's really super young, I say, that's your problem. Do it, because I think it's a favor, because life is about that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be, if you're like, okay, sit down and see if someone does that for me. It won't work. You, for example, you are a good example of going for your dreams and your illusions to be here, and how you look at things. You are wanting to learn all the time. I can see that. I'm 50 already, and I see whoever is really just wanting to listen and to learn. And when, for example, you guys came, it could look like you were learning from me, but I learned as much as you learn from me, because it's the balance again. If not, if you're only giving, there's a day it's like, okay, but
yeah,
there's no balance. And
So I want to go back to what you said before about with your daughter. There would have been a point in time where I would have said, after like so many injuries and all the things, where I was like, oh, I probably wouldn't let my kids ride. And that's probably one of the craziest like things that I ever would think, because now I think about just the skills that you take. Like, forget about racing and forget about any of the accolades or achievement that could come from riding, but just the skills and like the trust that you can put in your daughter, and especially for a girl too. I mean, girls don't generally get to deal with the types of adversity and challenges that come with being on a motorcycle from such a young age. And I look back at it now, and even, I think about like the pain, being able to go through, like, I've never made $1 from racing a bike, and some people would look at some of the injuries I've been through and say it's crazy to put yourself through that. But I think even being able to deal with pain and the mental stress, because I think the mental pain that you go through with like a proper injury is almost worse than the physical pain. And I think even there's just so many of these like meta lessons that's so layered when you ride bikes your entire life. It almost like creates a certain type of person in a sense.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. But maybe the only thing with someone that is exposed to media or to the other, to the public, is that you can see what is happening with that person, but you realize that many other people in a more regular life is going through even tougher things than us, and they're not being able to complain and make themselves be heard because they don't have the exposure of that happening, and that's always something that I try to put into perspective, because whatever we say or do is soon known. But there's many people going through much tougher things in life in a day-by-day basis that as hard as they can yell, no one's going to listen, and it's not fair. It's not fair, because we are so lucky to be doing what we do, and to complain about the injuries or not, but man, life has tougher injuries that that you can even think about in racing, and you were just doing nothing and this huge thing happens. There's super cruel diseases and that wow, and you see people now fighting through that, and the example that they can give is we need to learn a lot of that stuff,
There's so many more, like, not to take away from people that obviously achieve amazing things, but there's so many more, like, just there's heroes in the world that you'll never meet, and you'll never get to
know.
see, you'll never hear.
No one will know.
That's so true.
And wow, respect is that for these people, So life is special. Life is special in many areas. So if we can learn from things of life, is that you don't need to be exposed or not for success or not, or for being a hero or not. I feel like it's one of the things with being known or being famous. It sort of seems like, at least many of the people that I've met that have achieved that, a level of that, is that it's almost a thing that is not worth wanting. Like it comes with, I guess it comes with like certain positive things, but in the end of the day, like the people that really achieve that high level, if they could turn a switch and go back, they probably would. I don't know. I don't know about that. Most probably you'll find a bit of everything, of course.
Yeah, true.
We can find, we could say for sure, many examples in sport that most probably they would be complaining today about, oh man, I got press on my house and I can't move and this and that. But if that press goes to the next house because he's he's younger and more handsome and everything, he would be going, where's the press?
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
So
maybe horses for courses.
Maybe. I don't say, but could be.
So when you we'll go back to the growing up. When did you get a sense of, like, because it's a very unusual way to grow up when your grandfather owns a motorcycle company. Like, you'd come into the world not having any idea, and you'd be so oblivious for so long as to what the reality of that was. But I guess, when did you start to realize your family's place in motorcycling, and then maybe start to look towards like more of a career in motorcycling yourself?
I would have to say that the thing is that all that success of Bull Taco and my grandpa came when I was too young. I was not even born. And then the first years of me being in this world. So I was never conscious, because when I start to have my rememberings, and actually Bull Taco had failed. So there was nothing there. It was like something that I had never been able to touch.
Yeah, okay.
And my grandpa went through very difficult situations. All my family, we went bankrupt, and and it was So we had on that side nothing, from that. So I had to look more of press or what had been than what it was. It was actually nothing. It was a problem because there was no money. There was everything had been. It was gone, So that's I was never being. I had never lived that life.
Yeah,
on that side. So then my grandpa went to close to Sitges to live in his place where he had a big piece of land, and he was there, but struggling as a family, So then my parents would never let me race. They said that I had to study, of course. So I went to university, and then at a certain point, I had achieved all the goals that my mom and dad was saying. Okay, you need to study, you need to go to blah blah blah. But then at a certain point, I could actually decide, because I was old enough. But it was late, of course. Nowadays, if you're 18 and you have not been racing, it's like your history, And I started racing at 19 or whatever, and I had never raced because I was in university.
What did you study at university?
BBA, Bachelor in Business Administration.
Yeah.
So since then, luckily enough, I decided to give it a go and see if I could do something in racing, because in my family no one had that, even with the history of my grandpa and everything, no one had really gone into serious racing. Maybe because of how Bull Taco had ended up and everything. I don't know, maybe.
Was there like a bad feeling towards motorcycles in your family, or it was just a bad business kind of thing? Business.
I guess transition moment to where Japanese started to come in. He had to change things. My grandpa was the owner, was the designer, was the rider, was the, that type of thing.
It's quite incredible just what he was able to achieve on his own,
he was
really.
super. Exactly. He did everything, it was the whole old style. Now that you got the CEO, the CEO of the CEO, the secretary of the CEO of the... He was all of them. It's like my grandpa, and then he had a heart attack, and then he had to go out of there. There was many things going on, and at the end of the day, they didn't do good, and it went bad. I started racing because I loved it. I wanted to give it a try, and with my grandpa, I had this relationship to where I called him every day since I started racing. After every practice, wherever I was, the Spanish Championship, I won with him coming to some racing with me, and that for him was super cool because he was already, difficult situation for him, and I tried to help in as much as I could in giving him good emotions again, and he gave me this super energy. We had this super relationship, and when I started racing, actually, we had this drawing of my grandpa, and I just grabbed it one day, and it was in his table in his house, and I said, "Grandpa, could I use this in my helmet and take it with me racing?" And he said, yeah, do that because I'll be able to talk to you from the helmet." And I was like, okay, yeah, man, you got it. Done deal. So I had my grandpa always with me. So that was a special relationship with my grandpa. And when I started racing, he actually bought this champagne and said, "I'm gonna put this bottle of champagne on my fridge, and I'll open it up when you're in the podium in 500cc." I'm like,
That's so cool.
I just said, "Oh, man, you're gonna die before that. I mean, it's impossible. I would never be able to get in the podium. It'll be maybe, it's impossible." She said, "I'll do that." Some years went by, and 1998, I went in the podium, and man, I just called him, and he's like, "Grandpa, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Hey, I told you, and he said, "I'm gonna open my bottle of champagne, and I'm happy." After that, 1 month later, he died.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. He was just, I don't know, maybe waiting, or it's one of them things. Maybe again, an illusion that was strong enough to keep him here.
I completely believe that.
And
man.
then he said, "Okay, man, I'm done. History." So yeah, it was super cool.
I completely believe in that.
Yeah.
Like, I've had some people in my life. It's kind of crazy. My ex-girlfriend, her mum had cancer, and she got it quick, like really quick. And I was living in America at the time, and I was like, okay, I'll fly home. And then she was living down in Brisbane, so I was like, okay, we'll drive down there so that she could like stay, because we thought she still had like a few months.
Right.
And it was like 2 days after we got there.
No way.
Yeah.
No, that. Okay.
So like and I had the similar thing with my grandmother. Like we had to fly from Brisbane to be there, and like literally hours after we got there. Like it's crazy. I mean, to say that I never knew the word illusion, obviously, before this, but I think that's a real thing that people can hold on for, almost like live for a thing.
But imagine how strong this word is, la ilusión, that it can keep you here. So that's why in my pyramid I just put that there and say, man, never lose your illusion, never. Just fight for it. That's the beginning of everything.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So when you start racing, and I think most people would think, or at least I would have thought, just coming from the heritage and the family, that it would have been this thing that you were brought up with, and you were, like almost a young child kind of prodigy, but it was almost the opposite.
Yeah.
And it shows the feeling that you must have had towards racing.
That's it. Yeah. Like you say, no one really knows this story real, because I've never said, and, but that's the truth, and it's, you gotta be open to talk about everything. There's no problem, yeah, I took that challenge as a personal challenge in many areas, and as a consequence, I've been able to help as a just consequence,
Yeah.
help economically all my family, which is I'm super proud of, and also without my family, I would have never made it,
Yeah.
So it's all about how strong we've been able with my parents and my brother, my sister, and all of us. We've been pushing hard, and going through some difficult moments, of course, in life, like everyone has, of course. But at the end of the day, with the high expectations and the high work, at the end of the day, we had some good results.
So did you see racing always as something that could potentially like get your family out of those difficult times?
At a certain point, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a certain point, yeah. I would lie if I said no.
Yeah.
Because once I saw I was doing good.
Yeah.
And I just said, wow, I said, man, imagine if even doing what I love most, I can also solve that thing, And yeah, of course it was. So it's true that part also was a big boost for everything, to be able to say, wow, yeah, I can make it, I can make it, and I'll just fight for that,
I think that's maybe one of the more beautiful things about professional sport is that, like, you can, because so much of your result is tied to personal effort and hard work and sacrifice, and to be able to then get financial rewards to, like, I want to buy my parents their house or pay off their bills, and there's not many other endeavors. Like, you can do it in business, but I think that it's not harder, but it just seems like sport is this way where you can just put something completely on your back and just grind it out to get a certain result, and you can lift your family up in the economic and I think like soccer is amazing for this. Like, there's so many areas where athletes have done that for their families.
That's so super cool. Again, we go back to initial conversation we were having about responsibility. It's your responsibility to do that, and being able to not look somewhere else. It's like, on me, okay, I'll take it, and I want it, and once you understand that you want it, and it comes with a package, you'll be able to deal better. If you don't accept that, you won't be able to deal with that, because you'll fight against it. But if you use it as a strength, it's a good company. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I want it. It's part of it. If not, my expectation would not be so high.
Yeah,
my expectations are high. It comes with a high responsibility. Okay, if you understand it, you go for it.
Do you remember when it was, or what was the moment where, like, you were able to kind of make it everything like sweet for your family?
Yeah, quite early in racing, because I got to know Kenny Roberts Sr. and I started to race for him, and I was lucky enough to do some good results and make some money. And there I started to help soon my family, and I took care of some parts of my family. Yeah, and since then, until now, I'm proud of being able to say that I've been helping as much as I've been able to my family. But again, I've been helping my family as much as they have been helping me.
Yeah.
It's not, well, what have you done for them? Well, I would not have been able to do it without them either.
Yeah.
So at the end, yeah, I've been the guy that everyone sees.
Yeah.
But again, I've done it not alone. You can never do things alone in life. Success is about sharing it with people that will make you successful or not.
So when did you first then, I guess, have the vision that you could be a professional and that you could race for the fight? Well, because you had an interesting career. You went through all three eras of I guess MotoGP, or what we call MotoGP now, the 2 strokes and then the 4 strokes, and then even the Formula E or Moto E. So like, what was the initial belief that you could do this and like, okay, I think I can make a career of this?
You know what? Luckily enough, I would never let the result disturb my concentration of the present. I was just living my present until the day that I lost my illusion again, and I just started to think different, and things turned around in a bad way. But I think my success was to go day by day and to go to wanting to be racing the next weekend.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I'll see in the weekend, you know. I'll do my best, and that will give you the position. You'll put you in the position to take the best decision. Because if you're thinking about what decision you'll make if this happens or that happens, you're not focused on what you need to happen to put you in the position to take the best decision, you know? So I think that was if I have to say something, a good strength of mine, that I was just, I was focused in not letting that the result would interfere in my concentration, you know? Okay, I just want to try to do this, and if I do it, the result will come.
Yeah.
But, you know, the order in this is crucial, because if you want to start to put yourself in a good position to take the best decision, we started by thinking, how do I do that first? Doing good. Okay, I do good, I'll be in a good position, I'll take the best decision.
Yeah.
If I want to pick up on what's the best decision? Are you going to be in the position to take that decision? So maybe that thing maybe was unconsciously, maybe I was doing it, but I think it helped me.
And so you'd go first race, then no matter the result, I'm racing next weekend. And it was just this constant process of just
until I
looking
turned
ahead.
it around.
Yeah.
I turned it around. Then unconsciously I went to the other side. I was just wanting the result to make me happy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
When was that? Like, was that the Ducati?
Days?
That
was 2005 initial.
So that was the year you and Valentino had like crazy battles, right?
It went from 2003, 4, 5, and 6 with Valentino. Basically 6 a little bit less because I got injured. But
what was the year that it went to the 4-stroke?
2002.
Okay, so all of these battles with Valentino was
strokes.
MotoGP.
Yeah, 4 strokers. So I think 2005 in Jerez, the first race in Jerez, 2005, that we had that incident with Valentino in the last corner.
That's where he
hit me.
He hit you last corner. You went off the track.
I went off the track.
You still got second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't get no punishment or nothing, and then I started to lose my faith in the sport, or what it, you know,
because that whole race was just a crazy battle with you guys.
It was always, you know, it had been 2003 me and Vale, 2004 me and Vale, and 2005 it was again, you know, and I couldn't understand how, you know, this was not a sport, a contact sport.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand how, you know, and things happened in the championship, and there were things going on inside and everything, and I just lost started to lose my illusion in racing.
Yeah.
You know, and then end of the year, I signed for Ducati to create a new illusion because I saw there was something lacking. You know, I was not. So I signed for Ducati, 2006, and then end of the year I went to Ducati 2005, and I did this this meeting with all the Ducati crew, with all the team, and I put them there, and I just went up in this place, and I just had everyone there, and I said, guys, I just want you to know that I come here to win the first race and to win the championship. That's what I want to do. It was super emotional moment, and I put all my effort during that preseason to do that. And we went again to Jerez 2006, pole position, best. We were killing them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of the mechanics forgot to tighten up one bolt in the shifter, the gears, and in the first lap, it fell off, and I had to retire. And that day, I retired racing mentally. I had done such a big effort to put myself in a position to where I was fighting against my own demons. I was fighting against the championship. I thought, well, no one's helping here, as far as I was fighting against one of the top guys in the history of racing, which was Valentino. And I just thought, but Valentino doesn't even need to do what he's doing to win, and no one is saying nothing, you know. There was many things, you know, there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't understand. It's like, wow, it's fighting up against everything, you know. And I was expecting the championship just to be a little bit more neutral on that side, you know, just to say, I mean, if someone does something wrong, you have to say, you know, it's not in my opinion, it's not a contact sport. It's already dangerous enough to being able to say that you can hit someone and say, wow, that was a brave move. Dude.
Yeah, that was dangerous.
Everyone is brave in a MotoGP bike.
Yeah,
Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP, the first guy to the last guy. You cannot pinpoint on TV and say how brave this guy was by hitting another guy. Because if I'm a dad watching that, I would not want my son to be in a championship like this, because it's not bravery. It's not about hitting another guy okay, if you want to do that, go boxing.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean, you know? And from a guy like Valentino, which is, I mean, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Why accept that? I think it was wrong, in my opinion. You know, it didn't need to do that. Since then, many things have been happening because of that movement.
Yeah.
Because kids saw that and said, oh, that's the way to do it. And then Marquez is doing it to this guy, and the other guy is doing it to the other guy, and you get killed in racing.
Yeah.
You know, it's already dangerous. We should stay away from that. And that's why I never understood. And it got to a point to where I just said, wow, man, it's nothing to do with me here anymore, you know? And I just left racing, and I retired with another year contract with Ducati. And during 2006, we prepared the 2007 bike.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard. But inside here, I was just thinking, I'm gone. But I was working during the year. And then in Motegi, in Japan, all the manufacturers put out the bike of next year, which Ducati, we had built a complete new bike. And I think I was like 1.5 seconds faster than everyone.
And
so
then was
at
that
point,
was that on the new tires too?
Bridgestone.
Yeah.
And I was just like, should I retire or should I not? You know? And then the boss, or the manager, Livio, came and said, you're not retiring, right? We made the bike that you wanted, and here's the bike. We killed everyone. It was super fast, that bike. And it suited me very good because we had been able to do it, prepare it for all 2006. But I had retired mentally.
Yeah.
And I would have just done it for the money, and and I just said, no, I'm gone. And Livio said, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, but I'm done. I need to go back home and put some new illusions here. Something has to. Now I say this in perspective. At that time, I was lost.
Didn't know. Yeah,
I was completely lost. I would lie if I would say, if I know this, at that time I would do things different. Yeah. It's I could not say no. I would do the same. Lie.
Yeah.
No, I would do things different. But do I regret it? No, because now I can say I would do things different.
Yeah.
It's a learning process, and I'm super grateful for what the championship has given me, what I've lived, everything. Now, I'm in a happy position to where I can say that I'm proud of everything, and I'm thankful for everyone that has been racing for me and with me. I would do things different, yeah. Then Casey came and won the championship with that bike in 2007. So I was back home going,
that was hard to watch.
Okay. But maybe I could have, I don't know.
Oh,
you never know.
That's one of the things.
You can't say, if I had the, you never know. I'm here, I'm happy, I'm talking to you, happier than ever, enjoying this moment, which I thank you so much to share. I had never shared none of this before. So maybe it was the time to do it with you now. So I'm happy and proud and enjoying the moment. And it's, I think you can tell there's no regret or nothing.
No, not from knowing you personally.
I'm super happy of everything, everything and of that moment. And I'm happy to be able to say that many people still remember me from these fights with what they say has been the best, one of the top 3 guys in the world in MotoGP, and so I would have never thought that I would be able to do that. So
it's funny. I think that if you, no matter all of the things, I mean, I could go back through my life and look at so many things that if I changed in the moment, for sure, better outcome. Like I can tell with 100% certainty, but that would only be for the next moment.
Exactly.
But then that next moment after that, the world is open.
Exactly.
And you don't know what way that it can go. And sitting, like you said, sitting here now, like I've told the story a bunch of times on the podcast before, but the podcast only started because I had a visa issue with America. Like my whole life was America. I lived there for my whole 20s, and I had these goals that were so different to now, and I never achieved those things. And that come back to me probably not wanting it as much as I told myself and other people that I did. And then I had the problem with the visa, and I couldn't go back and finish these things that I started. My life did this 180, and now I have, like, this podcast is the best thing I've ever worked on in my life, and I have such like a passion and a purpose to do it. And it came from this like terrible moment, like this super low moment in my life. And it's like, I could go back before I got on that plane, before I could have changed the smallest little detail, and the next moment would have been better. But does that lead to the moment that I'm sitting here now? And especially in MotoGP, man, like you could have gone into that 2007 season and something terrible could have happened.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow is not promised when you're a MotoGP racer, you know? So it's like, I can imagine how hard it was to watch that season with Casey doing his thing. But you could never sit here the man you are now and go back and want to change it, you know?
I got my daughter back home. I'm happy. I'm grateful 100% to everything that has happened to me in my life. And it's just a learning process.
Yeah, no. So the Valentino has gone on record saying that it was you and Casey Stoner that were his hardest rivals. What was it like having to race that guy? And because he became almost bigger than the sport in a sense.
Course,
so it wasn't like you were racing another guy. It was
No.
almost like you were racing this person that was bigger than the sport you were actually doing, which must have been hard.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, you said it right. I had at that moment, I had the feeling that I was just fighting up against everything.
Yeah.
And it was just me. Because we were doing it with Honda, with a satellite team, not a factory team. So I was fighting against. I was on a Honda, but I was fighting against the factory Honda. Then Yamaha, when Valentino went to Yamaha, I was still in a satellite team.
Yeah.
I was fighting against the championship because Valentino could hit me, and then I would receive this letter of the president of the FIM saying that I could not do it. So someone else can, I can't. So there was all these things going on, and I was like, is someone there to help me out, And now I realize that the only guy that could help me out at that moment was me.
Yeah.
Was myself. But I was not in the position to do it because I didn't have the experience to do it.
Yeah.
So how can I ask myself to do something I don't have the know-how to do at that point?
Yeah.
So it was my responsibility to do it, but I wasn't prepared to do it. So I cannot blame no one, only me. But I don't blame me because I didn't have the know-how. So
yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
I did the best I could. What I am very happy about is that I've always been a respectful guy in that side. I have not put. Maybe that was one of my weaknesses. I don't know, but I was not. I would not do everything to win. Everything more far away from sport.
Yeah.
Of what I consider was my sport and how I understood my sport was on that side, And that's something that my parents and my family taught me when I was a kid, and I'm proud of, because I think respect is something that is in a long term
worth more,
I think, in my opinion. Of course, there's sometimes that many times we say, no, you got to do everything and kill to win. And wow, man, that's, to me, I don't understand life like that.
Yeah.
It's, I think you can win being respectful with humans, with us, Life, you said it before, life is long.
Yeah.
It's a long life, hopefully.
Yeah.
And there's time for everything. And like I say, I've tried to do my best in my life, and if I say something, I've done many things wrong. Most probably more than things right, but that brings me here.
Yeah.
So
when you think about a guy like Valentino, that there almost is like a crazy competitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe the thing that you think put him over the edge as a guy, like, you need like that high.
Believe me that he won't be more competitive than myself.
So you don't think it's a competitiveness thing?
Competitiveness and being competitive and respect, they're not opposite.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As far as I can understand life, because end of the day, again, you're on TV and many people follow you. Many kids look at you. How are you going to teach someone respect or values of sport. If someone hits another guy, if it's not boxing or a sport that's part of
like a physical sport.
sport. From what I understand, it's not necessary. You can touch. Sometimes will happen in racing, of course. Mistakes can happen, but you have to. The championship has the responsibility to teach the young guys also values of sport. We cannot, after something like that, and because what I asked at that moment when that happened in Jerez, I said, okay, so X rider does this and hits another rider. I ended up asking this question. I said, if I had crashed, would you sue him or put him a penalty or something? Oh, maybe. So in the same maneuver, if I die, would you? Of course, yeah. If someone dies, then we have to. Okay, so in the same maneuver, the result is just going to be the one that dictates if you're gonna punish this guy or not. It doesn't work, because I could have crashed, and if I crash and the bike goes over me and I get paralyzed,
which happens
many times, then you need to punish the guy. So it's the amount of pain it doesn't work. Let's stay away from that possibility by saying, guys, no touching. One guy is in the line and you overtake the guy, touch the guy, hit him, and take it out of the line, and you continue, this guy needs to get a penalty. Stop. What will happen is that then people will think that you cannot do that.
Yeah.
And you're taking away. It's like trying to put. It's like I was in 3 days. Friday or last week, I was in this meeting that they wanted me to go with these politicians in Barcelona, talking about the bikes in Barcelona, to say how important the bikes are in Barcelona, because the mayor now in Barcelona is saying that bikes need to get out from our city, and it's like, hello?
Really?
Because we have a lot of traffic. It's like, bikes are part of the solution for traffic.
Yeah.
Hello, you know?
The most populated countries in the world have the most bikes.
There was with one of because it was with the possible mayors of the different parties, politicians. They were there sitting down, and they had to expose to the crowd what they would do to make traffic better and to help bikes.
Yeah.
And one of the ladies there said, well, I would make free parking underneath for bikes because they're getting stolen a lot, and this is very bad, and we cannot let the bikes get stolen. I just went, how about if we punish the guys that steal the bikes? And you don't have to put the bikes anywhere because they won't steal them anymore.
Yeah.
So the problem is having people stealing the bikes.
Yeah.
It's not putting the bikes underneath the ground, not to have the people, but keep the people that want to.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, punishing someone that gets hurt. How about being proactive and avoiding that guy getting hurt instead of
like fixing
taking the guy,
not the disease.
Exactly, taking the guy to the doctor. So that's why I just tried to understand at that time of my career, and I couldn't understand all this happening, and that's why at the end of the day, it was too big for me.
Yeah. Is it impressive to you how Casey was able to deal with Valentino then?
Casey is one of the super talent guys I've seen. Super talent guys. It's how he rode. I think, to me, Casey was, I would put him in the top guys that I've seen riding a MotoGP bike.
Just pure speed, talent.
Everything. Yeah, everything. Super. Outstanding. Super.
I'm not sure if you would have listened, but did you listen to the podcast with him?
No.
Oh, so I'll send it to you after this.
Okay.
So he did the podcast a year or so ago, and he ended up saying, which he'd never like publicly said, that he dealt with like a lot of anxiety, really bad anxiety.
Really?
And there was times where he would be in his motorhome before the race, in his leathers, curled up in a ball on the floor, like almost not gonna race because he had such like severe anxiety, and no one knew. And it ended up going everywhere. Like people posted it everywhere once he said it. But does that surprise you to hear that when like you would see the way that he would ride and like the things that he was able to do?
Unbelievable. No, pure talent, if you have to say, pure talent. It was unbelievable. I actually, when he took my place, I actually liked him to beat, I was like, in one part it was like, oh fuck, it could be me, but then the other side said, yeah, it's okay, well, it's okay. So I was happy to see him win for sure.
What do you think that he had special about him to like, because there's the mental side to beat Valentino then, I guess, as much as like the pure talent and the speed?
Yeah, I think the good thing is that Casey caught Valentino out of sight. As far as Valentino, I couldn't see that coming, maybe. It was like okay, he won. Whoa, holy shit, he won the championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think and that talent, and he was able. Of course, he only, from what you say, he only knew what he was going through all these periods of anxiety and stuff. But when he jumped on the bike, I think the way he rode and how he was able to move his body on the bike, turning it, it was unique, I think.
Yeah, it was. He's such a. I mean, I'm lucky enough to get to hang out with him a little bit in Australia, and
cool.
Like even to
say hi to him for me.
I will one. We should send him a photo. Actually, he'd be pretty stoked. But yeah, like when you we'll just go ride motocross, and he has like this crazy analytical mind where he's always thinking. Like it's like he thinks his way around a track at such like a deep level, and I think that that's almost got to be such a huge part of his success as well. Was like he had like an obsessive mind about the motorcycle and the track.
I don't know, but I don't know him much for sure because I retired and then he came in, and I've never been able to have a relation with Casey. But from what I've seen and his family and how he's been dealing with things, and how he's been very sincere with when he's talked about things and everything, I think he's an authentic guy, and I admire Casey for sure for his professional, but also I would say, not knowing none of him, as a personal side, I saw him with his wife and the kids, and I think he's a top guy.
I think he shares your feelings around like contact and the way that the sport should be raced as well.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
What do you think about it now then? Like, do you follow much MotoGP now?
Not too much. luckily enough, I've got, like I say, my family and new things going on and my racetrack, and you know, Sundays I'm riding on my place, man.
Yeah.
I'm riding and I'm so active in my days that it's gonna be difficult to have me sitting down in front of a TV watching TV. But nowadays that I think there's so much information around available.
Yeah.
To where you get distracted so fast, you know. That's also why, for example, this moment with you here is so cool, because we're just on this. We're not, you know.
It's rare to do these days, huh?
It's so
like
cool.
It's so rare to sit and have this. Like, that's what people always say, like, oh, you know, to do it for like 2-3 hours is like so hard to do.
To me, no, because I have
nice.
I've never been into social media ever in my life, and I've never had Facebook since it came out or nothing, and I like to do the touch of the people, you know, and these moments are unbeatable to me, you know, moments to share and to just think we're here. We don't care what happens outside or not, you know. Excess of information, I think, creates confusion.
I think about that a lot.
You know, you're looking at one thing, but another thing pops up, and you forget about what you were looking, and then this becomes so important as much as the next one that pops up, and then you don't care about the one before.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was the first one? You don't even know what you were reading.
Yeah.
30 seconds ago, because boom, info, confusion. So for kids nowadays to concentrate is much harder than for us. 100%.
I feel it though. Like, I struggle. Like, even I was setting up all this, like, there's so much shit you've got to like plug in there. And like, my mind is like not wandering, but it's like it jumps around it's so hard to just be like, I'd say like a calm mind, you know, because it's so easy for your mind to just
to move on. But that's why I think we need to be able to use more our other senses, because they will never betray you.
Yeah.
You know, sight, it's so fast that it may betray you.
Yeah.
But if the 5 senses say that you like that, man, you're gonna like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You go for some food that you see and it's like, wow, looks good, tastes good, touch good, everything, it's good.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like when something I learned this also, when it's pretty stupid, but when something looks or feels strange, you know why it is?
Why?
Because it's strange.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's looks strange. It's fucking strange, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid, but it's, you know, because if not, it wouldn't look strange.
There's a...
You know, and then it would be straight.
Yeah.
But if it's like, this has happened, but wow, that's strange. Yeah, why? Because it's strange.
Yeah. So do you read much?
Not so much.
I want to send you an audio book that I think you would... Do you ever listen to audiobooks much?
No, but I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll put that in my ilusion.
I'll
do it.
So it's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Okay.
And
cool.
it's a book about... It's a fictional book, but it's like philosophy and like metaphysics. So it's like a life and like universal philosophy that's written into this fiction book. It's sold millions and millions and millions of copies. It's my favorite book.
Cool.
But it's about a guy and his son. They ride across America on a bike that he built. And he kind of like follows him through, kind of goes into his past, and he's like trying to build his relationship with his son. But he talks kind of like what you were saying about it's unconscious when you know something's good.
Yeah.
And so he thinks, don't want to spoil it, but it's like he thinks that there's quality has this function on its own, and that quality is like this experience that is at like the bottom of everything. And it's like, so you got a hot stove, like you put your hand on the cold part of the stove versus the hot part of the stove. Like quality is instant. Like the more quality experience without
Absolutely.
you don't have to know anything about, you don't have to have any words, you will know. And I think about that a lot in videography or like in film or cinema. You have people that will manually pull focus on the lenses, and it's so high quality, but it's unnoticed. People would only notice it if it went wrong.
Right.
So, and I think about in a photo, like you don't have to know anything about photography to know that if I'm taking a portrait of you and the curtains are in focus and your face isn't, that's a bad photo compared to the other one. So I guess it kind of speaks to what you're saying, that like we do know quality when it hits us.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't need to learn that. You know that.
And I think that can kind of like almost relate to writing in a sense, because like you've ridden at the highest level, and like I know from like being on the back of the bike with you, being on the back of the bike with Jack, like it's not the same what we're doing in terms of like the feelings that you would have felt on a MotoGP bike in terms of like the physics and the speed and the braking and the forces and all of those things. But in terms of like the quality of the experience, like your daughter is having the same quality of experience to like what you're having.
Yeah, it's true. I agree 100%. That's exactly right. I agree. If you look at it, our first 10 or 15 minutes, we've been going around the same.
Yeah.
We end up in the same place.
Yeah.
So that also means that as human beings, we keep complicating things that are easy.
Yeah.
And we can turn around things one way or another, but if you see someone and there's something wrong, you can turn around and look at it, there's something wrong. That first we're energy.
Yeah.
I think we're wrong doesn't mean bad.
It means wrong for you. Yeah.
Our energy, it's not. But then someone else comes in and you just click. Is he better than you? No, we're all different. Thanks God. We're all different, and that's the beautiful part of life, that we can find people that suits us. If not, we will all want to marry the same guy or the same woman, or we're all different.
So when you do you remember, like, because it seems like you had that big shift in your life when you did retire that first time, and then that's when I think maybe these sorts of feelings and this like this version of you came out in a sense. Like, do you remember what it's hard to explain, but like, do you almost like remember what you were like before you had these feelings, or like could you ever go back to being that person? Or it's like once you had this shift, it was like there was like a permanent shift in you, because like being around you have like that, you have almost like a spiritual sort of energy,
I think I've had that, but again, experience is something that life puts you in front, and it's up to you to just grab it and use it. Living many things is a journey that you have to really grab to learn from. You have to grab and make it yours. You cannot just, like we were saying, I like this effort, this blah blah, I just said it.
Yeah.
That's it. No, you have to grab it and hold to it hard and put it in your in your cupboard there. But I would say in many moments of my life, if I don't like myself how I was,
Mm.
you know, mm, I would say I didn't like how I expressed myself, trying not to be who I was because I was shy enough to try to fake something that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Now I'm 50. I don't need to fake.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable not faking. I'm weak in many things, and I know it, but it's okay, you know. And I still have an unbelievable desire of learning.
Mm.
I love to listen. I love to listen much more than to talk. This is the first time in my life that I talk so much, because I've never liked to. I've been too shy to express in many things in myself. But by doing it in my house, that you've been there, it's been I've been putting myself in a position to where I wanted to be better.
Yeah.
To do that, I had to express myself in a better way.
I feel like that's kind of, I guess, strange for me to hear in a sense, because of seeing you at your house and the way that you spoke to us and the way that you were like the captain of the ship for us, and we were all
Right.
looking at you, and you were giving us so much wisdom and so much knowledge. So it's strange to hear you say that you feel shy, and like that to me, I'm like, it's like surprising, I guess.
But that's what I was saying. I believe so much in relationships, you know, because you open that door for me. You understand?
Yeah.
If I wouldn't connect with someone, I would not be able to express myself.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
You know. So it's up to how much we want to get information. I could see, you know, I see when you came, Daniel Ricardo, you know.
Yeah, the man.
Wow. You know? And how he looked at me, and how it just, wow. Yeah, I can talk to this guy.
Yeah.
He'll understand me. Even if I make a mistake, he won't judge me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that took the best of me.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's about surrounding yourself with people that get the best of you, even if you make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all do.
Yeah.
I told you then, I tell you now, I've done much more mistakes, many more than things right. The thing now is that I can say, and I'm not scared to say that, you know.
Is there like a element of in your life before when you're like Sete Gibernau, you're MotoGP, like you're one of the big stars, and
of course.
Do you feel like you have to like live up to a certain persona?
I
in
had
a sense?
to.
Yeah.
I had to, of course.
Yeah.
I
So you
had
like
to.
wear a mask almost.
I think I was I don't know how to use this, but what I see of myself in some of that moments is not of a humble guy who I think I am. But I see that, and I could see I was trying to be up to it in the bad way.
Yeah.
You know, because I was just trying to overdo things.
Yeah.
You know, in some areas and sometimes, and it's not worth it. You know, I admire, for example, people that are just like Rafa Nadal or Daniel Ricciardo, or you know, people that are, you talk to them and they are you know, I look up to these people as a reference. You know, I want to be like them. I don't want to put any other example of people that I don't want to be like. I'd rather be like Rafa or Daniel or people like this that are, wow, I admire, and they are super humble, and you can learn a lot of things as a person from them,
Yeah.
you know, and they will teach you even with their own silence.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's when you learn more. One time I was with my grandpa. I ended up talking a lot to my grandpa before he died, and I was a really young kid.
How old were you when he died?
That was 98.
Okay.
1998. So I was one time in my grandpa's place, and I was really young. I don't know, young, maybe 8 or 7 or 6, I don't know, something around that. And at the time, I would lie to you if I would say I understood what had gone on that time.
Yeah.
It was with time that one day I said, wow, did that happen? Yeah, he said that, you know. So we were talking, blah blah blah, and I was super active kid, you know. Everyone else, and it was like, Sete, come on, just get out of here and go, and you know. So I'm super active. And then my grandpa, I ended up talking to him at night, and one night, I'm talking, and I think I just stopped one time. I said, but Grandpa, why do you listen to me? You know, everyone else just you know. My grandpa just looked at me and said, Sete, listening is the only way to learn. Most probably there I would have, you know, I'd say, okay, yeah, well, I kept talking, I don't know.
Yeah.
But with time, it's like, wow. Wow. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, 80-year-old guy telling a 6-year-old guy that he's listening to me because he needs to learn what from me. Now I look at my daughter and I shut the fuck up, you know. Say, shut up and learn. You know, they've got many things to teach. So all these things, I think makes us better as a person. In you know, from what I understand, is all this experience that goes by in front of you, and you just need to grab and make it yours by using it, not by saying it, using it, and you know, lead by example for your own self, not for the others, you know.
Was it a relief then when you kind of got to this place where you felt like you didn't have to put on the I guess like the different energy that you thought you maybe had to?
Tell you the truth, I was very happy to find myself again, you know, to just say, okay, yeah, you've gone through this, and you've been able to be it's not hard on yourself, but it's honest with yourself. Not to look always outside for the problems, and try to say, okay, what was I doing wrong? What happened, you know? Why? And I think for sure that made me a better person. As for understanding many things of what had happened, and even with other people, when someone, you know, does something or not, it's always a reaction to what you do also.
Yeah.
You know? So on that side, I think I'm super happy, because now I'm being able to share this with who I want, and who I want right now, and is most important for me is my wife and my daughter. I'm being able to spend time with them, and again, I would believe me, it's not because I'm here with you, because you can try to find myself in another interview or something, and you won't find me, because I've never done it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I've been out,
Yeah.
and when actually the Spanish press sees this or something, they'll be wanting to kill me, because I don't talk, I don't give interviews, or I don't go to any event. I do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, but this is me right now. You know what I mean? I don't have to do things just because I have to or not.
Yeah.
I feel like doing them, and I'll do them, and I'll try to whatever I say is because I'm using it. I'm not just getting something said that is said by someone that said, and I'll just say it. I'll just drop this micro now, and I'll do the opposite. You know?
Yeah. Well, that was like one of the things that I really took away from the day that I spent with at your place was, like I went. We all left, and we're like, "Fuck, Sete's the man!" Like literally everybody, all of us. We were so like, I don't know, just so like pumped and fired up on that whole experience. And I was like, that's why I just wanted to do the podcast so bad, because I was like, man, if I learnt that much from Sete in like 1 hour, like,
no, it was super.
Imagine, you know,
no, I wouldn't be here. I told you, you know, it's all about this, you know, and to me that, you know, what you learn from all this and from people like you guys coming, and even my wife said, wow, these guys are super and this and that, and you know, it's unpayable for me. I would pay, you know.
So what is the academy like on a day-to-day basis? Like how are you running that? Like, well, can anyone just go and book in and do that, or is it
not really, because being my home, it's very you know, but as I see that I can share this and learn myself so much from people coming. What I do is sometimes we do this experience for groups of people, and we open up our house and we offer this experience to where you leave your phone in the entrance, in that place to where, because that experience is just for you, for whoever comes. And I want to create that eye contact and that with whoever comes, so we can share an experience together. It's not about how much I can teach no one, is how much we can learn together in a day in my place with myself, just trying to share all things that we shared, and feeding your senses, feeding again the 5 senses, trying to feed, to understand that they will never betray you if the 5 of them say that I like that, you know. And it's good just to be able to share that, and I do it not that many times a year, and we've been doing it with some big companies that really have been wanting to come and share with big bosses, but also again we've done it, you know, with some others, and now we're trying to develop and see if we do more or less. But because of it being my house, I'm trying to keep it a little bit you know, under control. But yeah, it's a win-win experience for me. People, like I say, like you left there pumped, but you left me there even more, because it was like, wow, man, that is, describe the best day of your life for me is like one of those days with people like you know, like you guys, Daniel, or you know, it was, you guys made my day as much as maybe, yes, you say I made yours, but believe me, and you say, you know, I'm not saying this because I'm saying it. It's like this. If not, we would never create this contact. It would be impossible.
Yeah, no, and just the whole, I think one of the best parts was at the start, you know. So you do any course, right, where it's like advanced driving 101 and they make you sit in a classroom for the first bit. Everyone wants that to be over, right? Yeah. But we loved that. Right. That was like some of the best experience of the whole day. So for people listening, Sete had a pyramid that is like this foam pyramid that he's made, and you explained, and it was so cool that you've got like Danny is a Formula One driver.
Yeah,
like the day before he was racing Barcelona, and he was like glued,
glued
to this
to
whole
that.
philosophy.
Wow.
Could you explain your pyramid and
Yeah.
talk us through that?
Yeah, sure. Again, it's a pyramid with four sides of it, of course. I have it in Spanish and in English, and we have one of the sides is a riding explanation, and the opposite, and the other one is a life explanation.
Yeah.
With which they go up together, and they pop up in a result, which is the smallest part of the pyramid. And the biggest part of the pyramid, which is the base, is the ilusión.
Yeah.
And on the other side, when you get to a racetrack, the biggest part, which will give you the base of everything, is sight. Human beings, we all go where we're looking. We will go back to the beginning of the conversation. So when you get to a racetrack and you want to do the first thing, what would you do? Okay, I want to look to where I want to go. Okay, so that will be our base for the pyramid. That will give you a stable pyramid, a stable base to ride. Okay, so you have illusion in one side, and you have the sight. The sight after that, what will give you is to be on the correct line. The order is so important, because if not, you cannot be in the correct line if you have not seen it first. So if you turn it around, I want to be in the right line, but I won't look at it before that, it won't happen. Okay, so life again. Illusions make you dream. You cannot dream if you don't create an illusion first. So on the other side, of course, this pyramid is more about motorcycle racing. It wasn't so much for car driving, but you can
Very
adapt
similar,
it.
yeah.
Similar, because in bike riding, the rider has so much to do on the position. So there's one of the areas that position, but so sight, line, then we need to understand position on the bike. So how to sit down on the bike. But first we need to see it, we need to be in the line and in the position. And then the next step on the pyramid is braking. We need to understand where to brake and where's the area that you brake. In life is the same. In a racetrack, you need to understand, first of all, where you have to be fast, but also where you have to be slow.
Yeah.
Because being fast in an area that you have to be slow will make you slow on an area that you need to be fast. And life is the same.
Yeah.
If you want to run through this window, you'll hit the window. First, go around the window and you'll have a free area to ride, then to run. So you have to brake. If you have been looking far away, you're in the line, you brake and you hit the apex in the correct position, then what do you have then? Accelerate.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing. It's up here. And then after that, you'll get a result, which is the lap time. Accelerate, as you see, of the pyramid is one of the last ones, because who doesn't know how to do this? Everyone knows. But it's the less important thing. What's the most important? Oh, looking. What? Looking? Yeah, because you need to look where you want to go and see where you want to go. So that will give you the base. If you turn this around and you accelerate and you are not in the position, you have not finito. And then life is the same. So we have this pyramid to where it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And then accelerate is easy. That's why it's one of the last ones before the lap time.
Yeah.
Because I say, Claudia, accelerate. She will go like this. But if she's not, she will go like this, means that it's easy. Which is not easy, is to look far, to be in the line, to understand where to brake, blah, blah, blah. So if I tell someone you have to accelerate hard before doing all the other things, you'll crash. And life is the same. Life is about being understanding. In my racetrack, I say, a lap on my racetrack is like 1 year of your life. there'll be corners where you need to be slow, fast corners. You'll go by people, they'll crash. You'll crash. You'll have to stand up again. You'll see the guy, or maybe not. And at the end of the day, at the end of the lap, 1 year goes by, you'll have a result. You'll have a lap time. So that lap time or that result is just the consequence of what has been happening on the racetrack on a year, you know? And that's what we share in my place. We try to share all these things together, and we like you say, we do many other things. And sharing this with all this, whoever comes to my place is my best gift that life has given me after all my experience in racing.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most, it's, I guess, something that I'm always trying to do with this podcast is relate life to riding and the things that it teaches you. And I think that it's the most perfect and simple analogy for something that I've spent a lot of
Really?
time doing, you know.
Super.
And so what was the process? Obviously it's like a life's experience that's gone into creating something like that. But I mean, there must be a moment where you sat down with a pen and a paper or to actually write that. When did you go, okay, I want to get all of this out of my brain and I want to get it onto the page?
Because I'm super active, like I said before, as a kid. And I wanted to put myself in a position to where all that had happened to me, I just didn't want it to give it for granted, for nothing.
Yeah.
You know? And I said, okay, let's try to sit down and there's nothing, not scary, but difficult when you want to write something down, when you just open a book and there's white paper there. But if you just start writing things, it will be no longer white anymore. You start even if there's a phrase or a word. So just start by that. And then that's what I did. It was a point to where I needed answers from myself. And what I did, first I needed answers, and then I understood that the answers I had.
Yeah.
So I had to put them down in paper.
Yeah.
You know? And I wanted to put myself in a difficult position to where I had to use all that experience. And I didn't think, wow, you know, all this has happened and it's not been my fault, you know, because my tire that time, or this happened there, or that happened there. And I just wanted to bring it down to paper, and all this started to happen. And I started to create this pyramid with different, and it came, believe me, it came like this, you know. It's just like, yeah, makes sense, man, this makes sense. So I started bringing people in my house, and I started to say this, and I had golfers, soccer players, singers, and they all just hit the camera with the pyramid and said, I need to take this. And I said, wow, yeah, it really makes sense, you know. Everyone likes it, because it's an easy way to understand things that many times is difficult to understand. So yeah, it just came out like this. And now the best thing that has happened with this pyramid is that I apply it every day. For example, coming here, you know, this is part of it. I'm inside my own pyramid doing it every day, you know. And my daughter is the best teacher for me. She doesn't know, but I'll tell her one time. Actually, she knows, because she's like, Daddy, so the experience and the pyramid, and it's like, yes, Claudia, that's it. Just look at it. Please never lose that illusion. Please don't do it like Daddy. You know, that's super.
Man, it's a beautiful thing for a person to sit down and write. Like in physics, they call it first principles. Like, what's the most simple one sentence rule that you can use to explain something very complex?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always something that, I mean, I try and think about, like, any way I can apply, like, what's the most first principle way of thinking about this problem or this idea or whatever. But for you to just, that is like your first principle. Like, that's this visual representation of like the way that you want to live your life. And
Absolutely.
I don't think there's that many people that have actually taken the time to sit and write something like that. And there's obviously like a level of like therapy in that. And I think even with me doing this, like I'm sure if I went back and listened to podcasts, there'd be some things that I've said where I'm like, oh yeah, like that's, I could probably write those things down, but not a lot of us actually do.
Well, it's all, we're in a learning process.
Yeah.
All our life, I think. And the more time goes by, the more I want to learn and keep learning. And when you think that you know everything, I think you start dying.
Yeah.
It's like, why, if I know everything, what's the point to be here? For sure we'll need to learn how to get old. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Something so natural, but something so cruel sometimes.
Yeah.
Not being able to walk, remember things. Wow. Do you think you don't need to learn that?
Yeah.
Man, the hardest thing is still to come. The only thing we have is the experience to deal with it, because the next one is going to be tougher than the one before.
Yeah.
I know. And when I look back and then I see what I was complaining about when I was racing, I was just complaining about a tire was not the best tire I could have. Ooh. You know? Now, if my daughter happens something to my daughter, or wow, that's
real.
What's it all,
Yeah.
that about? People that lose their family members being young, or wow, excuse me, there's no one's gonna teach you that.
Yeah. We don't have a perspective on how long life is and the period of struggle that you go through at the end of your life. Like, it's so underappreciated, and it's almost like it's analogous to nuclear war, right? So it's like I think there's something like 6 or 7 or 17,000 nuclear weapons on the planet, right? So at any one point in time, if a handful of those, and so there's been, like, during the Cold War, there was essentially like a false alarm where this guy in Russia, like Petrov, is like this kind of, he should be more famous in history, but basically he was the one that was on watch in Russia during the Cold War that would then pass on the warning that there's been nuclear weapons fired from America. So he was the guy that sat there, and it was his job, and there was like 5 or 6 of these guys that were on 24-hour watch, right?
Wow.
And so he saw on the radar that there were 5 nuclear weapons that were launched from the US to Moscow. And so he then it was his job to then alert the next in command to then fire like a retaliation strike back to the US. So this was in 1973, I think.
Wow.
And it was a false alarm.
Holy
There was something there was like a
false alarm, man.
Right? So there was literally a false alarm of nuclear war. And this guy decided, he went against his orders and decided to just let it slide, because he said that if America was to do a first strike against Moscow with nuclear weapons, that they would fire a lot more than 5. Right? So how's that one? So that's how close we've come to nuclear war in our life. Well, not my life, but so then you think about that with like aging, right? But so we don't think about nuclear war. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of nuclear weapons on the planet.
Yeah.
Any one of those goes missing. Like, apparently there's like 6. They're called broken arrows when you can't account for a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
So there's 6 on the planet that we don't know where they are. So like, getting old is kind of like nuclear war. Like we just never think about it. Like it's right there. It's
there.
right there. And it's something that you don't pay any attention to.
You know what? A funnel?
Yeah.
Funnel?
Yeah.
You realize that life is like a funnel. As far as when you're young and you're a kid, a year is like one big one.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, man, I want to be 2 years old. I want to be, and then it's like, oh man, I want to be 18. But that thing starts to accelerate that time. And then 1 year is like, okay, you're 25, you're 30. That thing starts to accelerate like hell, man.
Don't tell
and
me
you're
that's
like,
Sete.
oh yeah, dude, it's like that. And you start to look up, going, oh man, no, hey, oh yeah, holy man! And thing starts to accelerate. And every year that before was like, oh my God, come on, it just goes, and that thing's just like, and you're like, oh
Gone.
my God, no, I'm 50. It's like, what? I'm 50. Oh my God, I'm 50. I remember my dad with 50 and it's like, what the hell, So, yeah, we just need to be conscious of that and to prepare ourselves to all this that's happening, and try to be a good person and to learn from things and share them. I believe in sharing with people. I believe in people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one side people bad and the other side people good, or the opposite.
Yeah.
Good or bad is a matter of human being.
I think too, when it comes to good people or bad people, I think people always just do the best they can with what they have. And even a person that you could maybe look on the outside and go like, oh, that's a bad person or that's an evil person. Like they've been given a set of circumstances that they didn't necessarily choose.
No.
Like you don't choose your parents, you don't choose where you're born, you don't choose the kids that bullied you at school. Like
absolutely.
you don't. So it's like there really are no bad people.
But I don't know about that. I think there is.
Well, there can be like, but in terms
as
of
a consequence.
Yeah, but
of
in
other
terms,
things, that's the result.
Yeah.
So we have to go, but we only see the result. That guy has done that bad.
Yeah.
But we have to go to the base. And what's the base? That guy maybe was, I would have done the same if I had been on that position, But I was also referring to, as far as, if with all these wars, if, Muslim or this or that. It's not about Muslim or Christian or black or white or gray or yellow or pink or blue. It's not about that. It's about human beings.
Yeah.
We're persons,
Yeah.
Persons, you'll find all type in every place of everything. You'll find good guys in one side of the world, and in the same side of the world, in the same city, you'll find evil. And evil is just a consequence.
Yeah.
Again, But we have to get ready to get old.
Yeah.
We need to get ready for that.
I watched I think the thing that really made me think about that more than I've ever thought about it before is I watched a little mini documentary on YouTube with this guy, and he was like 96 years old, and he actually famously wrote books on death. Like, so he was a teacher, like a university lecturer and a philosopher, and then he wrote a book called Death. And then the opening line, I could send it to you actually, I'll find it on YouTube.
Yeah, cool.
It legitimately went to the core of me when I watched it. I was like, man, I've never fucking thought about my life. Like, I'm literally going to be that guy.
Wow.
But, and yeah, he was like, oh, if you asked me in my younger years, I would have told you that I knew a lot about death, but really I don't know anything. And then it's sort of just like, watch this guy's routine. He'd obviously been lucky enough to make some money. And I think that this actually kind of changed my perspective on money too. But he had this nurse that was with him, like basically like a full-time carer, but she'd obviously like come in the morning and like leave at night once he'd gone to bed. Yeah, she had to dress him. She cooked for him. She cleaned him. She had to do everything.
Right.
This guy's wife had died a few years before, and then he was alone, and he kind of was just talking. Essentially, like his whole life is like preparing to die and like coming to the. I guess you probably have to have a relationship with death at some point in your life. Like maybe you have to reconcile that you are going to die, because truthfully right now, if you said like you have to die tomorrow, I'd probably freak the fuck out. Like I feel like I would not have made the peace with all the people and all the, you know.
Imagine, I mean, they say, and it's true. I read one time that if they just put a date on your death, how many years do you want more? 100, 200 years? It's okay. You want 200 more years?
Yeah.
Okay, but put a date. You won't be able to live anymore.
Be hard, huh?
Because you have a date. That's what's life about. That's why we don't know, because we won't be able to live this life. Because if they just put a date, how many more? 90? If they say 90 to you now, which is reasonable.
Yeah, that's a while.
You would say, oh, no. Okay, 100? No. Okay, 150? No, don't put a date.
Yeah.
You know? And it's true.
Yeah.
You can't put a date.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know. So how easy that is. What a sign it is to live your today.
Yeah.
You don't want to know that. You can't know it. And once again, go back to my grandpa. When he was sick enough to understand he was dying, and then I came back from my podium and everything, and we opened the champagne, and then 2-3 more weeks later he was dying, and I actually went in. He was dying. He didn't go to hospital. He was just laying in the bed at home, and he gave me his hand, and I grabbed his hand. And he had many, he had 5 boys, 5 girls, 10.
Wow.
Sons, yeah.
What a G.
Yeah. He was a super guy. There was no TV at the time, man.
Yeah.
So.
And a beautiful Spanish wife.
Yeah, super. So, he gave me his hand, and I grabbed his hand, and he just looked at me, and he closed his eyes, and he smiled away. He smiled. He was happy to leave.
Yeah.
He wanted to leave. Why do I say this? Because life, what does is prepare you to die. All that experience. My grandfather, I learned there that he had learned how to die. He said, no, I want to go. If I had to say that now, I would say, oh, fuck no, I don't want to. Yeah. I mean, what are you talking about? Don't, die, go, where? Where's next?
Yeah.
And he was just, then I left, and then my mom came in, and then he died. It's like, oh, man. So life is just preparing us for whoever we have the luck to get to that point, because it's so cruel many times that we can't get to that time. But if we're lucky enough to be here having this conversation, we can't give it for granted. We have to be thankful that we are here, because we're preparing ourselves for all what has to come, which is what's more difficult than death? To leave. I don't think, because we're all scared of that, But what if we don't do things if we don't? So everything that comes next is more difficult than before. Why? Because the last one is death. That's the most. What can we do? Learn from everything to approach that in the best way possible. I think. I don't know.
What do you think that your granddad did in his life to make him so at peace with dying in that way?
I think he was a great human being. He was a great listener with all his good things and bad things. But he was a good person, I think. I'm not talking about success or not, because he lived success and he lived his last years. He was bankrupt. I never saw him one time sad or regretting nothing or talking bad about no one. I can't remember my grandpa talking bad about no one. Not one word that I know of or I remember. Maybe that made the way to being able to rest in peace.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's the most difficult thing, but it's closing the cycle of life.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what we're here for. No one's going to avoid that. No one.
Because I don't know that I could say the same about, like, it's funny. So my grandfather was like one of my grandparents. He was not a nice person, and he had some like really fucked up shit going on. Like he saw his dad kill himself, and like it was so like he didn't have a great life,
right.
You know. And we went. My whole life, like we used to have to go there after school, and we're around him all the time, and like he was a pretty violent sort of guy.
Right.
But there was this switch. I don't remember how old. Maybe I was like 14 or 15 when he did die, and he had an aneurysm in his brain, and he just dropped dead one day. He was like, I think he was maybe like 78, 80,
right.
something like that. But it was crazy to see a switch in him in like the last couple of years. Like he had a terrible relationship with my mother. She left home when she was like 15.
Wow.
And then a terrible relationship with my uncle. And he poisoned his whole, like, my uncle's kind of not a great person either, but he was like the result of him.
Right.
Like you could see the...
Yeah.
That, the
influence.
Yeah. But I remember seeing a change in him in the last couple of years before he died, and it always stuck with me as a guy looking to make up for lost time. Like it was like there was a switch that went in his brain where he goes, fuck, like I'm not going to be here much longer. And you could see him actively trying to make his amends in a sense, and he became a much more nice and open person. But it was like, it was too late. And that really always stuck with me. And to hear you talk about your granddad as a guy that was so ready to die. Like I had the exact opposite of experience of watching a guy that it was like he tried to play catch up.
But time will never come back, you know.
No.
That's why the sooner we understand that, the better it is. Because it's going to be in our own benefit, you know. And that's why I think, to me at least, it helps the fact that not everything is worth,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But that works for me. That doesn't mean I would never say to no one, that's the way you got to do it. I have no one to say that. Of course, I would never. And I don't think it will be the way. Everyone has to do it their own way. And we need to just live our life. The only thing, respecting others.
Yeah.
But we're all different. And what suits me, maybe it doesn't suit most other people. And we need to respect that. But we know there's, you know, I like to do one exercise when they say about something on the past. You can take a picture, and that's what you see is what it is. And then outside of that picture, there's circumstances for that picture.
Yeah.
So there's a fact, that's a picture. You know, we're here sitting down together. No one can say that's not true. But in what circumstances am I happy to be here? Am I faking
yeah,
or
what's
not?
the context?
That's not objective. It's subjective.
Yeah,
You know?
yep.
So in life, there's a part that you can take pictures of, and there's a part you can never take pictures of. And the part that you can never take a picture of, in my opinion, is the most beautiful part, because it's the senses.
Yeah.
You cannot take a picture of how much I like you. I can tell you,
Yeah.
but I can fake you.
Yeah.
But what my heart tells me, or you, there's no picture for that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot more going on with no picture than with picture. And again, what's a picture is the fastest of the senses.
Yeah.
That sense can lie easier than your heart, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. So did you ever face the thought of death when you were racing? Was it ever something that you thought of? Because it's such a reality.
Not really, man. Not really. I don't think so. No, I have to say on that side, from my experience, of course, and how I understood things, I liked the fact that I could control my own fears and everything and go beyond and that sensation, that feeling of just being I like to be in control of things. I don't like not being in control of things personally as a person, and that I've taken it to my profession and my racing career. I think I have to have things under control. I would not like myself to be out of control. I have never, even in my life, I have never tried drugs, never, because I know they're horrible, but also because I know that I would not take control of myself anymore, and I can't. It's impossible. I can't not be in control. So being in control of your own things, in my side, has helped me to what you were saying. Have you been scared of not? That's been like no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen because I can control that. I will not leave fear or death or nothing control me. It's impossible. I control. So taking that to my limit was part of my adrenaline, you know? But on that side, and now in perspective, it was good, because if I had focused in the other side, I think at the end of the day you go that side.
Yeah.
So luckily enough, unconsciously, I think I was trying to be in control of that side in order to stay away from it, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, for me, riding, like, I've definitely let fear keep me under my limit. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm in Dubai right now. The track I've been riding is 7 kilometers, 5th gear wide open on the 450. Like, it's fast and it's scary. And I've found myself really on the limit naturally because of the track.
Right.
Like, the track puts you on that limit because it's so fast. Mm-hmm. And there's the period, and I think it's the same for everybody that's riding, where it's like you've got that, like, do I go faster or do I go slower? And for the most part, I'm definitely just going to stay like just underneath that limit. So like, what is that to you? And like, how did you deal with that feeling of wanting to back off, or was your ceiling just to where like you didn't feel that fear that I feel?
I have to tell you one thing. I was the one that, okay, is that one flat out? I was just the one listening and go out, do it. You know, I had to do it. I just had to do it. or we were when I was a kid, even, you know, jumping from cliffs to the sea, you know, to the water and the sea. We would go with my uncle that he was 20 something, or my brother, he was older, and they would take me up there, just 12-15 meter high cliff, jump to the water, and wow, where should we go, and this and that. I would never talk. I would just be there, and that desire, I would just jump, and they would just look at me and jump. What the fuck? And I was not there going, should I jump or not? And they were going, oh, you go first. And I was just there going, I'm doing it, you know. So I just went boom, boom, and I jumped. And then I was flying. I went, you dumb, stupid thing. What are you? But I just had to do it, you know. So I just took. I think that side of me was. But then I did it, to tell you the truth, because I had control of my body, and I knew I could control my body and hit perfect down.
Yeah.
If I knew I was not going to jump perfect, I would never even go up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went up there knowing that I was capable of jumping. And that's why I never talked, and I would just jump, because I knew I could. Okay, I'll jump, I'll do this, I put my body like this, I'll jump and I'll land. It was not like, okay, I'll jump, and if I hit myself with the rock, I'll be, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I know there's water, you know, I know I had my body control to where I would not just go backwards and hit my back and break my, you know, I knew, and I jumped and I did it, but I had to do it, you know. And in a racetrack, it was the same. It was like, okay, that I remember in Turkey, I think it was a fourth gear flat out corner with the qualify tire, and we were thinking with the guys in the team, it's like, fuck, would that be flat out or not with the qualifier and this and that? I would just hit the qualifier and just go flat out. I would just do it. I had to do it, you know. And then that when I went, it was like, yeah, and the helmet, it was like, yeah, you know. But I never, luckily enough, I never did it and destroyed myself, you know what I mean? Because I knew if I was gonna do it, it was because before I had done it with almost flat out, with not the qualified tire. I hit the perfect, and then I was, you know, it would time to qualify, I would concentrate myself. It was not a crazy thing. I would only do it if I knew I was gonna do it. Yeah. You know? And but so that self-confidence was something maybe that I was looking, like before again, I was looking where I wanted to go, not at the crash. Yeah. So I was forcing things to go one way.
So that feeling, like, so the feeling that you would get, like that back off, kind of the feeling where it's either, or like, yeah, I need to back off now. Like the physical feeling of that, like what did that mean to you? Did you just disregard that feeling and go after like the result at the end, and you kind of...
No, I think...
Like what was your relationship to that feeling?
If I had to back off?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Because I choose to back off every time.
I think I backed off when I retired. That time in Jerez that happened, then there was a click that I was not able. I had a contract still, a lot of money, you know, a lot of money. And I said no, because this was happening, you know, this was... Or maybe not even happening still, because I was giving everything until the last race. And even when Motegi, when we tried the next bike of next season, I was super fast and everything. But I had it here. I was looking at it. What happens?
So you were breaking your own rules.
What happens if you look at a problem? Yeah. You'll end up in a problem.
Yeah.
So before that happening, and as I was, maybe there I was not, if that was a problem, I was not like this. But I was going, yeah. And before just living like this, I'd say, okay, no, there's something going wrong.
Yeah, because I think that, I mean, yeah, that it's something that fascinates me in my own life is like my relationship to that, you know, and I think, I don't know whether maybe it's just like I look at guys like you, Mick Doohan, Casey, Danny, and I look and I'm like, oh, what would it be like to not have that feeling, or they don't have that feeling? But maybe it's just the fact that you guys have just put in so much time, and like you said, the confidence and the self-belief, and it's just such a evolution that you guys have gone through that somebody like me doesn't go through in their life. But then I know other guys where it's like they're just like club, local Sunday guys, and they seem like they don't have that fear, or they can overcome that fear.
But I think there's a difference in between that and unconsciousness. You are conscious, but you put yourself in a position to where you can control. It's not being out of control. Because being out of control, statistics say that it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's not, If you want to see the future, look 90% of the past, 10% of today, you'll have a good picture of the future. But that's mathematics. I'm not saying nothing smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say the third year Marquez won the championship. 90% of the past, 10 of today. He's still winning. Who's gonna win the championship? Mark.
Yeah.
If nothing big happens, if there has to be something big for that not to happen.
Yeah.
There can be time. That then if Mark was winning 12 out of the 14 races, and the next year he wins 13, then 11, then you start to see the tendency of the past.
Yeah.
You can understand.
That's 90% of the past. Yeah.
But if Mark last year won 14, the year before 15, the year before 15, the year before 14, he's going to win 15 or 14.
Yeah. I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah. So that's not being too smart, just being analytic, do analysis of what life offers, and you just have to, again, I think it's something different between looking and watching.
It's like listening and hearing as well.
Exactly. I look there, I'm looking out, but I don't see nothing. You have to see things. Because looking, I'm looking everywhere, but I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
So life, I think it's good to see.
Yeah.
And then when you see life, what goes by, it's showing you things. It's not just because. Okay, there's there's a guy looking at me with a gun, and he wants to shoot you.
Yeah, you should see that.
So I think that's a nice part of life, that it prepares you. And again, if you see life goes by and you see that the time is coming and it's offering you many things to get ready for that moment. Thanks God it comes late enough to have learned enough to smile away, like my grandpa did. If not, we'll just have to deal how it comes. You never know.
Yeah.
But we have to be thankful and try to learn from everything that happens to us, if we are capable of seeing things, and we want. Experience is something, it's not given for granted.
Yeah.
Even if you're old, you have to grab the experience and use it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I think that's sort of what I saw in my grandpa, in a sense, is that He tried to cram a whole life's worth of...
in last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Too late, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. It's like, no. Oh, man, I'm dying. I want to be here. Dude, from here to here, there's a stairs you need to walk.
Yeah.
Because the next one is higher than the one before.
Yeah.
100% sure. What do you have to jump? Okay, you know, it's like a race that every step is higher than the one before. So if this one was this big and this one is this big and this one is this big, okay, if I tell my daughter to jump the last one now,
Yeah, can't.
there's no way. My grandpa was jumping the last one with all the experience of life.
Yeah.
And he was ready to jump the last one, which was the hardest one and the tallest one, which is death. My daughter's not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But I'm a little bit more than my daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter would go, what? And now I know it can happen. I'm a little bit more ready than her. She's like, what, death now? What the sky? Where? The other day she was saying, Daddy, I don't want you to go. I said, most probably she had seen something or someone. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, but you're going to go to the sky and you'll die one day. I'm like, yeah, Claudia, I'll be there waiting for you because my grandpa's there waiting for me and I'll be waiting for you there and I'll be a star that takes care of you. But why do you have to go? And I was having this conversation with my daughter. And now she started to understand. In 1 or 2 more years, she started to understand more. I can tell her things, but I'm still not ready. I need to go a long way still. I wish I had someone to you know, but we just need to keep learning. And that's why before, in the beginning, I said, fuck, I just can't wait to wake up and learn every day. Because I need so much to learn until the last day. Whew, imagine.
What are your focuses in life, like, from now, you know, like, because you've reached I guess a special place in life where you can be 50 and you're in like amazing physical shape, you take great care of yourself, and then you've got the luxury of, you know, like, financially being okay. So, like, what is a person that reaches that level in life, like, what does your focus on each day then become?
Again, sharing it. My wife and my daughter and my close family is the best thing in my life because I have the opportunity to share it and to learn from my daughter in my process, and it's a two-way relationship with my family, my daughter, and I have many new things and many new projects, and I like to share with people all my experience because I learn and I put in my illusion new ones every day, and I don't give for granted nothing. And the more I do this, the closer I am to happiness. I know, you know, it's the best thing I've learned, that happiness is not owned by money, or happiness, of course, is owned, big thing, by health, of course. That's something that really, I believe that is the only thing that can change life, you know. But if you're healthy, everything is possible. Everything, and no matter the age, no matter, it's a matter of wanting to do it and attitude in order to understand that the more we know that it's up to us, accessible and reachable goals. I want to be a billionaire. Oh, that's so far away. You will never.
Yeah. It's hard to make that step.
It's like
Yeah.
all the way up. It's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way. First step will take you to the second one. Will take you to the third. Will take you to the fourth. There's no limit on that side. You can become a billionaire, but man, there's a long way. So that journey is the one, the journey of life, you know?
So do you have things in your everyday that's a non-negotiable thing that you have to do for your health and happiness?
Right now, sleeping with my wife and my kid, for example, I have a really hard time staying away from them. But it's not compulsory as far as I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah.
So if I have to get on a plane at whatever time and go back home, I'll do it. I try to avoid to be in the position to where I don't have to be with them. And I cannot permit myself forgetting how much I really want to learn every day, you know, from different things, and putting myself in a position to where I'm not sometimes comfortable, even like not saying I'm not comfortable. I cannot be more comfortable sitting here with you now, but it would not be something that I would have done.
Yeah.
Because of all my, you know, my fears or but man, it pays off.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be in a comfortable position to be happy.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's about how your attitude and how you approach that moment, and how you focus in what can that bring to me, or to whoever it is, you know. And I think that's not negotiable as far as being each one of us and doing what we mostly love, but what also can bring us some good experience.
Yeah, being uncomfortable has such a strange quality to it. But because when you do it the right way, is when you grow the most.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like this incremental kind of application of like forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. Because that was like the reason that I moved away from Australia, because I was like, man, this is the most comfortable I've ever been in my life. And I was like, damn it. Like I almost knew that was a bad thing.
Right.
Not that it was a bad thing, but I'm like, okay, if I want to keep growing and I want to keep progressing, then being this happy and this comfortable it might not be the way.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's like pretty good advice.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. We're all different, man. You know, we're all different, and listening to people that are, of course, opposite to ourselves. Most of the times, if you do it in a learning attitude, will bring you a lot of benefit.
Yeah.
You know, even if initially you don't understand, or you say, what? There's always a reason.
Yeah.
That what is just a consequence of things that you have never lived in your life, and you will never be able to live. So you need to have someone explain that to you in order to say, wow, if I was in that position, of course, you know. But if you do it, again, with respect and values, and that's something that nowadays is a little bit take for granted, the fact that, you know, we can all say what we want, of course, that's democracy, of course, But today I have sometimes the feeling that everything is forbidden but for what is compulsory.
Mm.
You know, it's like forbidden, compulsory. How about if it, nor this or that?
Yeah,
You know? But then at the same time, there's things happening that the freedom of talk or the freedom of doing of someone can really affect directly yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're free to, I don't know, you're free to, I don't know, think about, okay, I'm just going to say something stupid. You're free of not taking a shower and smelling like shit and doing whatever, but are you free to do that and sit down with me in a plane from here to Australia?
Yeah.
And I have to smell that. This is something stupid, no?
Yeah.
But do I have to, why? I don't have, for respect of myself and from the others, I would never, if I knew I was bothering you in some way, I would, in my opinion, I would go back and put myself in a position to where I would not do something not because of me, but knowing that I'm not interfering in your life. To me, that's how I understand respect. Because I would not do that to you because I would not like you doing it to me. So it's all that compromise to where now it's a little bit crazy world, no?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, that's a weird example, but I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Have you ever thought about writing a book? Is there a book ever in your future?
I've started, but
you have.
But you know what? It's like
it's a big job.
What do I have to say? I mean, who's gonna? We're all. I mean, yeah, I have many things to say, but who's gonna care? I mean, not who's gonna care, but there's too many other good people that do that write.
But you just said before that you should always listen because someone's had such a unique experience, and I think
it's true. But on that side, it comes again my fact that I'm a little bit like, wow, I don't know.
I would love to read it.
Thank you, man. No, I know some people that come and listen to the experience, and when we talk, and I started to do it because this been happening. So I was just thinking, man, I should do it. But
I think you should do it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
maybe I should do it. It could be, I'll put that in my illusions, one of my illusions to do it and share it. No, it could be. Because
I think that with you, I mean, even, in this podcast, it's like, there's a little bit of MotoGP, but there's just a lot of life, and I think that you've lived, it just can't be overstated what I think a person can learn from going through the kind of life that you've lived, and like just the crazy parties and the yachts and the money and the girls and the fame and the winning and the losing and
it's true.
And then to be now 50 and to just like to say, it's funny when you said before like you didn't like yourself. I mean, I think that I don't know whether that's something everyone goes through, but like I definitely went through that at a period of time, and even to swing from that place of saying that you didn't really like who you were in that moment to then being in a place where you are now where you can be so humble and so you didn't like the arrogance, but then you sit here today as like such a amazingly humble person with all of those experiences. Like it's just so cool, the transformation that you can go through. And I think that you can save people so much shit in their own life by like, I guess, because it's like you don't know that, right? It's like before you have those kind of, I guess in like a spiritual term, like an awakening in a sense, like your life's like a dream. You're just almost like a bad actor in a dream, and then you have like you wake up and you can look at. It's like you look and remember the dream, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's true. I just when I get in my museum and back home and I go in there, it's like I told you. I think it's like, was this me?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow, yeah. Well, I won some races, you know, but it's all part of the past. You know, I don't have nothing. Inside my house out of the museum or nothing. I don't have pictures of the past or nothing. I keep that on the museum because I think some of the mistakes that we keep doing when you are more or less successful, I don't want to imagine, of course, someone super successful or I don't know, some superstar, how hard it's going to be not to live from your past.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it's been so strong then that you will not be able to create memories as strong
Beyond
as
that. Yeah. It's like
as
a
they were
peak.
before.
It's like a stock market
So,
graph.
but
It peaks at the top.
What happens is practice makes perfection. So the more you talk about how you were or the past, you're not creating new memories.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, what we did today will be a memory. We created a new one. And we didn't talk about my past so much. That helps me.
Yeah.
You know? Because if not, I'll be stuck in, okay, so what happened with Valentino on that turn? And it's like, am I not capable of creating no more memories than that?
Yeah.
And that's part of why I want to, I'm proud of all that. I'm not saying, please don't misunderstand me, not saying that was not, I mean, that was something that even I look at it and it was, wow, that was me? Wow, hey, wow, good job, man. Oh, it was me. Okay. But that's it. You know, I would like, if I had to say, I would like people to remember me as a good person than a super rider of MotoGP, you know? He was, Sete was a good guy and he did many other things. Oh, he was also a good racer, you know?
Yeah.
Which is also super good, you know? But then I'll be able to say I created more memories beyond racing. And that for me it's a challenge because my career was quite successful. So if I'm creating more memories of myself beyond that, I think I'm doing good.
It is sad when you do see that though, right? Because you do see some people that have that success and have that career and they can never let go of that career. And their house is like a shrine to their past, and it's like...
Yeah, but again, we're all different, man. I mean, and if that works for... It's my respects, you know? And there's superstars that... Wow, I mean, it's going to be hard if you're a superstar, you know, not to live from that, but it's like a click clack click clack click clack click clack. Time goes by, can't stop it. And if I'm not capable of creating new memories, I don't want my daughter to say my dad was a great MotoGP guy when I wasn't even born.
Yeah.
My daughter hasn't even seen me. I did the Moto E because I wanted my daughter to, you know, see me and to prove myself that I could do again, that all my process of learning had been good. And I went out racing again. It was the huge illusion. It was perfect. It was perfect. I didn't need to win. I didn't even care. I enjoyed every part of it. I saw my daughter looking on the TV going, Daddy! Man, I don't care. First, second, third, 18th. You know? I nothing. And that created some new memories.
Yeah.
And after that, you know, we're doing many other things. And that's the best part of my life right now. Creating strong enough memories of my present, of what today. It's a great one for me. It's a great achievement.
Are you happy you got to go and race the Moto E from that new perspective?
Yeah,
because
super.
you would have. It makes sense hearing everything that you've explained, that there was almost no process in the first part of your career. It was just instinct and just just one thing to the next thing, and so to take that time to slow down and then go back and reapply, it must have felt so good to do that.
Unbelievable.
That's so cool.
I loved it because, again, one thing would be if you came to my place and I started those pyramid and stuff and this, and then if I got to Moto E and I didn't win, I was going, what the winning and shit.
Yeah.
I was happy as ever, just racing and enjoying every moment, and then I said, wow, this pyramid works.
Yeah.
I'm part of it. I understand it, and I'm part of it. It works. It works. So yeah, that was my creating these new present memories, that I talk about.
I can see the whole arc in your book. You should write it.
Yeah.
How you start. It's all based on the pyramid.
It's all.
You explain the
everything.
pyramid through the first
I started my book like this.
So that's how you started it. Where did it go after that?
No, it went through many. It started going through many stages, and actually, I went one way. I went a little bit back, and then I went another way, and I went back, and now it's like, okay, how should I? And then I stopped. So I'm like, no, I don't know if I, but I have a little bit of an idea.
I think you just ended it the right way there. I think that you start by explaining the pyramid and the philosophy behind it, and then I think you go back to the start of your racing career, and then you talk about all the things that you kind of did wrong, then that went against the pyramid, and then you talk about the 3/4 of the way through.
What I've done is going back and forth a little bit with time.
Yep.
Because it's nice, but I started with the pyramid, and then there's a jump in time, and then you go back to relate things.
Yeah.
So, but I'll see. I don't know. I have to see if I can finish it.
Well, I think the finish is kind of what you just said. How you took that time away, and then you developed the pyramid. And you talk about that time of your life, and then the last part of the book is you go back to Moto E, you live the pyramid, you get that fulfillment of knowing it, that it's true and that it works, and then you spend the rest of your life living from this place. I think that's the way that you end the book.
Sounds good. Sounds good, man.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, mate.
Pleasure,
I know
man.
that, this isn't exactly your normal wheelhouse, but I really appreciate it. Anytime I get to hang out with you, I'm extremely grateful.
Super, no, same, man. I told you guys that my house is your house. I enjoyed it, every part of it. So let's see if you guys can come back again soon and spend some time again and ride together and keep working around the pyramid. I think it works.
It does, mate, and I appreciate it so much. You're
Thank
an
you,
absolute. You are one of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. So I definitely enjoy all the time I get to spend with you, mate. We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.